So we are back to the Elite Series. It is all about CSGO. Our second match of the day features two of the heavyweight teams in this CSGO Elite Series competition. Method and Epsilon will both expect to take a place in the final four, but both are still looking for a first win in the tournament. Now, we heard from Pulse a few minutes ago with speculation about Epsilon and their team's spirit. We can get a response now from Barbar with Yasmin.
Okay, so I'm here in the Players' Lounge, a little bit more of a relaxed area. There's bean bags, people can kind of just chill out for a little bit because today is a very stressful day. I'm here with Epsilon player Barbar. How you doing?
I'm fine. I just arrived like 1 hour ago from Brussels, but so far so good.
Okay, so how is the team morale going today? Because we've heard a few rumours that there may be a little bit of tension going on, a little bit, slightly.
Tensions? Nah, I don't know what tensions is. You know that we take inside the team. You know that's not. I'm not gonna tell you anything here. You know, but no, we're feeling good. We were in Brussels for almost 3 weeks. You know, so of course there's tensions a little bit when you're living together for such a long while. But no, nothing I should speak about here. No.
Okay, so it's been 3 weeks of you kind of playing with your team. Do you feel like today you come back for week 2 and you're strong?
Yeah, last time was a little bit misstep. Yeah, we started off really good with the first map and then really went with we have full power there, but the second map I don't know really what happened. You know, like shit can happen because there is so good players everywhere and then talented players. You know that didn't have a chance to prove themselves. You know, so I think it will go better today, but I won't say too much. You know, we see, but it's feeling good in general. It's feeling good.
You seem confident. Yeah, so you ready to do this?
Yeah, I'm always ready.
Okay, so last week we kind of expected you to take the win. It did end up being 1-1. So how do you think you're going to fare up today?
I think, yeah, I actually played, you know, with Weber and then Neil Senior from that team in FM Toxic, like back in four years ago or something. So I know those guys, and they're good guys. They didn't evolve as much as I thought they would, but maybe this is a chance with Gfinity for them to show themselves. But I think we should win this game.
Okay. Well, that is the talk. That is the talk. So no pressure, Barbar, no pressure at all. So get prepared, get gone, and I look forward to seeing the game. All right, Tom, back to you.
Thank you very much, Yasmin. Barbar there. What do we know about Barbar as a player for Epsilon? Obviously, he was didn't want to talk about any rifts in the team, which makes him a very professional player. But what can we expect from him today?
Well, I mean, the unusual thing is if you go back almost a decade now to the end of 1.6, he was actually a star player. He was actually a strong AWPer, and he used to be like one of the main carries of some of the Swedish teams he played in. But in CSGO, he's had to completely redefine his career because, like a lot of players who transitioned over, if you didn't have the same aptitude for the game, it is a slightly different version of Counter-Strike. He hasn't really been like a dominant AWPer. He hasn't been that. And so he's actually transitioned to become an in-game leader. And that's something where I think his addition to this Epsilon team, I think it was just over a year ago, maybe a year and a half or something, really was actually one of the things that put them on another level at that point. Because they had the good players already. They had those players I referred to before who went to NIP, but they didn't have the in-game leader. They didn't have someone to bring it all together. So I think he's now playing a very different role, and he is more the veteran presence, you know, and it's other people in his team who are going to be the stars. Yeah,
and obviously Epsilon will have Smoya that everyone keeps talking about. I mean, his stats last week, you know, 12 headshots, 68.5 ADR. It was a quiet debut for a man that people were expecting a lot from.
Yeah, it's quiet, but at the same time, I was kind of, you know, he was quite reserved. It's not awful, it's not over the top. So he's kind of kept his expectations, you know, medium sort of level. But, you know, as well as him, there's Cosmin, there's Maeve, you know, you've got Freddie B as well. There's loads of star players in that lineup. It's just a case of who steps up on the day, really.
Yeah, perfect. And what about those other players that we can expect something exciting from today? Because I want to see exciting gameplay out there. So who else is a little bit like a kind of like a Cinder or sort of like a Jax, potentially, who was an MVP last week?
On the Epsilon side? Or
yeah, Epsilon side.
And for Epsilon, the big name, obviously, is Freddie B, because he's somewhere where actually, like when they first had that Epsilon lineup, yes, Draken and Disco Doppler were the people who got hyped up very much, and people knew that they were going to have chances in other teams. But I actually thought for a while that it was actually Freddie B who was kind of the third best player on that team. It wasn't, Rez only really emerged towards the end of last year to become a very strong player and now get kind of that call up. So I feel like Freddie B has actually been a little bit hard done by. You know, he's the only one who hasn't been given a chance in an NIP, a Fnatic, another team out there in Sweden. And I think if he can play well in this lineup, he is someone where either this lineup goes somewhere or one day he gets a chance to be in a Godsend or one of these other teams and play with better players. Because as you see by his age there, his problem is he's not 19 years old. He's not a guy where it's like, okay, you're young and maybe you're going to get a lot better. This is probably as good as he's going to be, but I think he's shown the quality that he could be in a better team.
Yeah, I mean, 34 kills last week and almost 101 ADR. So he's a dangerous player on any of those maps. And the maps that we're playing today, he's got an opportunity to. Will it fit with his game style on Cobble or Mirage?
I mean, having 100 ADR over the series last week kind of shows he didn't fall off on Cobble when they did lose. So Cobble coming in again is probably a good thing, really, for that team, so they can kind of prove that it wasn't like we're not actually this bad at Cobble, I guess is the best way to put it. Like, it's not, you can't just keep picking this against us thinking we're actually, how we played against Reason. That was a one-off. We're going to prove ourselves this week.
Yeah. Obviously, Baba didn't talk about any tensions that might be there in the team. Is there any way that anybody watching their gameplay could begin to see where they are maybe having a lot of tension or in-game play problems? Is there a way that we can detect it?
I'm not sure if there is, really. Other than like separate bits where somebody might be just stop suddenly and then you kind of see like frustration or something on the player cam, I guess. That's the kind of stuff you can kind of single out if you're looking for it. But otherwise, you can't really tell it from in-game unless you can see them visually, like in person. It's kind of hard.
OK, well, both of these teams will be looking for a win today. It is Method versus Epsilon. Change of casters. Jackie is no longer in the backstage, and we have got Snods there as well. Gentlemen, you feeling good today?
I'm pretty pumped.
Of course.
I'm feeling invigorated. How you feeling, mate? You ready?
I'm doing supreme, mate. I'm doing very well.
You always love it, don't you? You love a bit of games. You love the easy ones, but this one's actually really...
Yeah, this should really be the match of the week easily. I mean, before the Elite Series started, we were anticipating this to potentially be the final Method versus Epsilon.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very interesting. I can't wait for this one to kick off, obviously, with the map veto as well. It actually boils down to...
Cobblestone
quite close game as well. That's the thing, when you look at it now, Cobblestone being the first upcoming map into this, both of these teams, we've seen them play an awful lot. Method as well.
Yep.
I mean, quite consistently in a lot of the UK leagues back when they were FM, Cobblestone was a fairly efficient map. We never really saw them struggle too much.
I mean, we've seen Method play Cobblestone just what? Last week. I mean, a few days ago, they played it versus Reason. They had a very comfortable win on their T side. Very, very strong. They tend to lean towards that more contact, slow style play. They play together. They're very good at the trades. They're spacing so close netted together as well. That obviously when they're swarming those sites, those trade frags do come in. But yeah, I mean, we haven't really seen much Cobblestone from the new edition, bringing in Genko. Obviously, the old FM lineup, which had Robin as well, they were so good on Cobblestone. It was obviously like pretty much an auto veto, right? You'd always ban Cobblestone versus them because of Genko and Pulse were so good at that B site.
And if you think about that as well, actually touching on Genko, do you remember some of the big highlights back when Genko was sort of at the height of his career when he was building himself up, sort of in the domestic UK scene? Always that big site on Cobble.
It was I-58. It was I-58, Cobblestone versus, it was Shiki's team, now Vex. What were they called back then? I can't remember, but anyway.
Wasn't it Rise?
Yeah, it was, but roughly a year ago, Genko had that incredible HLTV clip where he had that crazy ace towards B platform, but nevertheless, the point is they are so strong on that CT side. Pulse and Genko, let's see what they can do. One of the things as well they had before then was Robin, obviously the Swedish star, who was playing on Fish 123 and some other UK mixes, but I don't think they're playing in this one. But Robin was so good towards drop, right? And the question is now, Method, without someone like Robin, how can they really play their T-sides without having that lurk sort of player finding information and finding entries towards other sides of the map?
And you can see as well, even though on paper now they've got more talent and someone that can improve potentially to further heights than Fry could with Genko, that's the thing. He's always got that sort of potential to mold into a bigger player. That was kind of their idea behind it. But it seems like trying to settle in with Genko back into the fold, it's taking a little bit longer than you expect it to.
Yeah, it has. I mean, they've had obviously... They're doing very well in UK Masters. They qualified for EPS. They are doing well. The problem is, you mentioned Fry 1, right? The potential there. I mean, in terms of fragging ability, they are quite similar. One of the issues was obviously communication, and does Genko bring that? Anyway, into the first round here. Method versus Epsilon. Epsilon on that CT side. We're going to be seeing Kit double flashbang. No smoke, so we won't be seeing some smoke diffusers come out. That could play a factor later on. Weber here goes towards big play. He's an unseen. Actually, Felipe gets flashed, peeks the angle, sees nothing. This might cause a rotation from the CT side to go back towards drop or to go towards A.
Let's see if that is going to be the case, though. Freddy still just holding a close angle as he is hoping they're going to push into his ever-waiting arms. But Method still just playing off the back of the time.
Yeah, indeed. Weber's trying to listen out. See how many players are there. The flashbang comes in. The HC goes out. No armor there means he will fall.
Let's see how they can respond to this. Freddy B peeks up and takes the head off Nilzinho very swiftly, hungry for more as well, as he's just trying to stay alive, keep himself in the action so his two teammates can rotate over, but he does fall. Leaves him in a 3 versus 2, but this late rotate where they're spread thin is going to be so abysmal.
Genko as well, close towards connected. The rotations can't come in that way. Cosmin through drop. He needs to find the head share onto Pulse.
struggling a little bit as Stanley takes down Smooya. It's all left on Cosme, and he rattles off an abundance of shots, but no frags go his way. He does land the flick on towards Genko, which makes his life a little bit easier, but with no kit, he has to react fast, encroaches upon the bomb site as he slowly tries to tiptoe up towards the bomb, waiting for them to peek into him, come recover the kit, but they peek out at the right time, play together, and Pulse will find the shot. Method get the opening round.
They do indeed. We've seen that pistol before from Method. The idea is the person with the best spawn towards B gets into the cubby B platform. He will not be spotted. No information is given away. The rest of the players go back towards drop. You smoke off, window side drop. You burst down, you split B, having Weber on the flank towards that player, towards platform. They find that entry, and as soon as that player dies towards platform, suddenly it's so easy to flood out of drop. And winning that T-pistol is so crucial as well, because on your CT side, if you force buy into this one, you might be lacking the AWP. You'll be lacking Molotovs as well if the Ts decide to go for fast rush towards that B site on the first buy round. Say they've kept in some SMGs and whatnot. Not having the Molotovs to hold off those pushes could be detrimental.
That's the thing as well. Talking about that T side, even just for Method as a standpoint, Method always come in very hard and fast with dominating T sides. So much rifle prowess on the team. Yep. Everyone loves that more aggressive style of play. They will try and set the pace of the game. So them starting off T side is actually very good for them. This is where they're going to get into it. As long as they have a good showing, off the back of getting the pistol round in as well, they're setting themselves up, right? You've done the hard part.
What's big as well, look at the money here. Okay, we've seen a half quasi buy here from the CT side. You've got Bar there with a Deagle flashbang bot. All of the players situated around $500. No one there has 1,100. You need 1.1k to have an AWP with Kevlar into the next buy round. We know how aggressive Smooya likes to play. Not having Kevlar could definitely be a thorn. Later comes back to bite him. So, into the second round here, Method with the MAC-10s and whatnot. Going to be the 2 sets of Kevlar on Cosmin and Freddy B. For this round here, for Method, Nilzinho and co, have 5 alive, 4 alive, build up your cash, able to buy up into the later buy rounds, even if you do lose this ones.
Yeah, and Method absolutely love these rounds. They're slow play style where you walk in, they're going to clear every angle, play it very slow and collective. This is where they're going to be able to come out on top. Losing no members so far as they rip their way through. They're getting the kills with the SMGs as well. Pulse will shut down Maeve here, so it does fall to the last 3 members of Epsilon, but they're just trying to back off. The thing is, Weber is in the rear with a UMP. He could rack up an abundance of cash if he plays it right here. Will give away his position as he fires off a couple of pot shots, has to react quickly. He is just going to roam around, but if he gets these frags in, stops Epsilon from getting through with any additional armor out of the round, and just racks up that additional bonus as well for Method, this is going to be a very juicy round for them.
Yeah, on the CT side, you still get your money loss bonus even if you don't die, so staying alive here, they want to try and avoid the SMGs stacking up the cash, which they've already done.
Yeah, doing a good job as they do fire back. They take down 2 players on the T side, but Weber, he will peek out swift stuff as he finds that absolutely beautiful shot. But Freddy B, Deagle in his hand, he's doing some damage here as he just goes blow for blow, just hammering out on the trigger. Looks like he should be able to survive as well.
Yeah, Galil saved there by Pulse. No AKs brought up from the T side as we head into round number 3. So, 4,000 across the board right now for Method. They might even drop over one of these MAC-10s. Might even buy a Tech 9, go for a fast rush towards B. They know they're going to be playing versus unarmored USPs, potentially, unless Epsilon want to mirror Envious Academy's 3rd round force buy.
Yep. So the buy's coming in once again, and let's see how they are actually going to play this.
HG's on Barbar May. They're going to be trying to get an Immortal Strike towards that B platform. You see Virtus Pro do that very commonly on their EQ rounds on Cobblestone, but instead, unfortunately for them, it's going to be a fast play here towards A. And I mentioned before, the Tech 9s are out on 2 players, and MAC-10s as well, to try and stack up that cash.
That's the thing, that aggressive shock and awe style play as well, you just hammer through mid right now. Close angle is going to be so easy to clear with those Tech 9s. Just run and gun style CS. As long as they get past Freddy B without him getting a casualty, it'll be an easy fast play towards A. But they're also forcing the over-rotate as well, so the mind games can come into effect.
4 HP on there on Stanley. Only a MAC-10 in his hammer, so even if he does 4, it's not really the end of the world. If you pick up a MAC-10 with no armor, you can't really do too much of it unless you play a headshot angle. Nevertheless, though, HG comes in, Barbar finds 1 frag and makes it 5 versus 4.
Approaches to the A-bomb side, but they're getting their nades out early, and they're actually getting caught off guard because of this, but luckily enough, they strike back. 2 frags begin to go their ways, they clear the site, hungry for more, and they do pick them off very effectively. It's only 1 man left, it's Cosmin, and he is out of position, slowly gets back over there. Oh, an instant dink through the door.
I think they've heard that as well. They've heard the headshot come through. They know exactly where he is, sorry. The goal right now for the CT side on Eco, try and find 2 frags, which they've already done. The problem is, obviously, they found kills onto Tech 9s. You're not really doing that much damage to the economy of Method. Let's see, now let's find 1 extra frag. Low HP as well there onto that player. I believe it was Genko, so if he did find that kill, would have been some extra money taken away from the Ts. But nevertheless, right, 2 players staying alive for the T side. You got 3 kills on your CT Eco. Not the end of the world for themselves as we do go into the first buy. It's going to be interesting to see the buys here as well. Let's take a look. Orp on Smooya, he does have Kevlar. He did find a frag on the Eco, which meant he had that extra to $300, pushing him over the edge, allowing him to have Kevlar Orp, but no utility. Let's see who wants to play this one. Typically, the Orp plays towards A, towards connector. You fast rotate towards B. If a rush comes in towards B or an XQ comes towards B, you can try rotating through connector, get to rock, hold those long-range angles as the cross comes towards site. Still, though, Pulse and Co slowly going towards A-Long. It's 3 players, mirroring exactly what we saw previous weeks from Cobblestone, from Method. They tend to go for A-Long control in their default, take control of A-Long, and from there they can do an execute, they can fake it, but they're trying to get portions of the map. Weather goes towards B and throws all his nades, trying to mimic some map control.
Yep, just making their presence known a little bit, just going to put some audio cues down, hopefully keep the attention of Epsilon on them as they do make their approach round. They can trade for each other quite effectively as well, but this is a huge smoke. Zones them out for a very long amount of time.
What's very interesting as well, this is the first time I've seen Method smoke off the end of A-Long, right? We cast them only a few days ago and they weren't smoking it. They're anticipating the Orp and Smee to be playing around A-Long. They don't want to give Owen Butterfield any frags. The man on your screen right there, holding towards mid. This position here towards Hobbit, not really in the meta right now. Typically, you play towards APC because it's easier to fall back towards site. You can get caught up towards balcony if the T's get towards wood. But nevertheless, though, if he lands that first frag, that's all he really needs to do for his team.
Yep. And Smooya as well, very effective at getting those sort of flashy, fast, early frags, the pixel shots you don't expect to be able to land, that just creates a little bit of issues inside of the team. And he will actually find it, shuts down Stanley as he tries to get mid-control, and now the rest of the teams have to converge. They're going to go for this split push on towards the A-bomb site. Weber coming in late for the lurk as they make their approach through. Smooya already in a new position, ready to try and get these one-and-done frags, but Genko kicks it off with his rifling skills, finds the head of Barbar, and quickly knocks it off. Smooya will rattle off around, but he can't quite find the frag. It seems they're unaware of the location of Maeve, though, as well, and he pulls out 2 headshots as he bounds down from his angle. Nilzinho tries to commit to the bomb plant, wasn't meant to be, and Epsilon claim their first round.
Nice and easy as well. The execute comes in, but as they cross, Smooya, Zorp, and Co deal the damage needed to hold off that push towards the A side. 3 players staying alive as well for the CT side, so only 2 players needing drop, and obviously utility being rebrought up. They are prone to the reset here now. You can see 2,000 across the board, 1,200 as well. And to believe that's Maeve, so if Method win this one, Epsilon will get that 1.4k plus. They're going to have around 3,000 each, so you're not really going to get the best buy if you do lose this round, but talking about buys, Method there, 3 Tech 9s. 2 AKs down to Genku and Weber. If I'm on the T side right now, these 2 AKs, I might go for a B contact play towards B platform. Have Nilzinho try and use some nades towards A, but look, he has no utility, can't really sell much of a fake here, and already 4 players from the CT side are situated towards the B side, so they know exactly what's going on, they know the money's low. They're anticipating a play towards B. Still though, slow default from both teams. For Epsilon Esports, they know they're going to be playing versus a potential low, but they don't want to give the T's any advantages here, any openings onto a site. If you die towards drop, you're prone to the split. And that could be detrimental. If they lose this one, the reset Method should be able to get to, what, 1 to 5, 1 to 6 potentially as well, but it's going to be Cosme to find the first.
They peek out and they're doing a good job. Cosme goes 2 for 1 as well as Nilzinho will eventually fire back on the Tech 9 and take him down, but you can see the T's now have to just try and make their play. Their hand has been forced into the round. They can't try and have any mind games into it as well. And they just have to flash themselves out, go for the all-out aggression towards the B-bomb site and hope for the absolute best. Stanley will take the first peek as he swings wide, does get their attention, so Nilzinho could try and strike, but unfortunately, him and Weber fall, but Stanley starts to do damage, kicks in the overdrive right now with the Tech 9. He is going to get spotted out, tagged down to just 10 HP. Scavenges the Kalashnikov to try and allow him to do something into the round.
Frags are so important here as well because the money is low on that CT side, but Smooya, of course, doesn't miss those easy ones. Secures the frag there. Onto Stanley in that 1 versus 2, as we do see 2 rounds on the board now for Epsilon Esports. Let's take a look at the buys, see if they're going to be ecoing. So, Method, bomb did not go down. 3,000 is the average there, so they're going to be ecoing this one. This is the round now where Epsilon, they have to build their bank. You can see 100 on Barbar, 100 on Freddy B. This is the round where you have 4 alive, 5 alive. You stack up cash with those SMGs. You want to have about 4k in your bank after this one, so you're able to buy up in case you lose that 7th round.
Yep, just try and earn some money into this one. Hope for the best. They're going to go for the all-out shock and awe style strat. Charge away at mid, take as much map control as you want, rub your dirty shoes all over the place. But Smooya will come in with the CZ frag, takes down Weber, as they are hungry to just try and slow this down as quickly as possible. No casualties is the best case scenario, and seems like it is just left on Nilzinho already. So it has gone the way the CT's wanted it to.
Yeah, exactly that. Very clean round there. Could even potentially carry over these SMGs. The money on the side of Method is so low that I don't even think they could bring out the AWP. So let's take a look at the buy as we do head into round number 7. Barbar there on your screen. A very firm leader, right? Leads by example. And let's see now, 3-3 is your scoreline as we do head into round number 7. And yes, the SMGs are kept. 3,000, 5,000 down to Smear. So roughly what I said, you have the money in the bank. If you lose this round, you will be able to buy up into the next one. We might be seeing some risky plays here from the CT side as they do have some security in their bank right now. But yeah, no AWP right now on the T side. Nilzinho again has no utility. I mean, typically we see him buy up the Tech 9 and take the hit, but already Freddie B finds the frag onto Pulse, but it's a fast reply there from Csgo.
Quick stuff towards this B bomb site as they're just trying to get the early advantage as the frags do start to unfold. Smear also falls as well. This is huge for Method. There is a massive chance into the round at this point. They just need to try and play it slow down the pace a little bit, and play it smart.
So, Barbar here with the UMP close range towards Electric. Cosmo the AK as well towards B platform, and then Maeve alone with that UMP. Nilzinho here, he can try to sell a fake towards the A site, but already Stanley misses the flick. Somehow, some way, Barbar misses that.
Ridiculous. Somehow Stanley lands the flick, doesn't actually get the frag off the back of it, but responds with a Glock straight away. Cosmo had the angle cover, but he whiffs it as well. They can double peek into him now as they read it perfectly. Genko connects the headshot, and it's just left on Maeve. Method bouncing back into the game instantly as soon as they had the cash to play with.
Yeah, you can see their faces as well. They know exactly what the chances are. If they lose this round, they're again prone to that reset if it does come through. 4 players alive as well for the Method side. As I say that, though, it'll be 3 because Stanley does fall.
Maeve will find one frag in the back line as he slowly tiptoes in through the rear. Worst case scenario now, just run away with that AK-47, at least have something to play with, but he is going to try and make a bit more of a dent. Charges in, finds the frag over on towards Weber, has a kit to play with as well, and a lot of utility, so there is still a chance into the round if he hurries things along, but Genko had it covered, spots him out by drop, and will punish.
What's interesting there as well, Genko on low HP wasn't playing the stairs position, the headshot angle, so Genko in the open, one body shot they would have taken down, then it's, the 1 versus 1 versus Nilzinho, so potential clutch there from Maeve. Method could have potentially played that a little bit more efficient, but nevertheless, they do get the round. So, 4 on the board from Method as they do go 1 in the lead. Obviously, after winning that pistol, they've only so far had 1 buy-round win. The buy for Epsilon, though, AWP again onto Smear, this time a full utility. The thing is, though, will they play passive? They know their money's low. If they lose this, Method get to 5. They're going to play versus a 4-spot Epsilon. That could be 6, and then from there, the full eco. This could be a 7-3 scoreline based off of who wins this round. And once again, we're seeing no AWP on that T side, and the utility is fairly weak as well. 2 players without utility could be detrimental if they do try and go for an execute towards the B side. Smear, though, flashes out as the smoke does fade. And you can see if he mollies this as well, clears out the whole of B platform, they can have it.
Towards drop down as well, they are going to go 1 for 1 as the trades come in very early into the round. Stanley left on 44 HP though, so he's looking a little bit green around the gills as he goes through that first fight. Slow stuff now as well, they just want to slow down the tempo, once again go to their contact style of CS. They are making their play towards the A-bomb site. It's going to be Maeve in position though, and he is unreal at defending these sites.
He is indeed. Maeve here playing towards Godspot. Typically you find 1 frag and usually you're traded, right? As long as the Ts are playing close together, they have good spacing. If Genko peeks out here a little bit too early, and he does, but somehow, some way, he does win that round, that duel, allowing them to have a 1-man advantage, 40 seconds left on the clock, and now the push comes in. You've got as well Stanley there towards drop, might be able to come in from behind.
Making their play through Stanley, another headshot comes out as he shuts down Smear. Cosme's in a prime time position to deal an absolute blow. Peeks out, hits Genko straight in the jaw as he's hungry for more as well, roaming around, just trying to clear these angles. Here's the last ditched attempt of defending the round, and unfortunately Epsilon can't quite do it. Nilzinho punishes him, and Epsilon let it all slip away.
So why have Method picked Cobblestone? Let's have a think here, right? They love cash. They permaban train. They love Nuke as well. Nuke is going to be the second map. I believe that was picked by Epsilon. Epsilon lost last week to Reason in a very one-sided fashion.
Oh, yeah.
Method obviously thinking, you know what, we can do the same. In their heads, they're probably thinking, we're stronger than Reason. If they can do it, we can do it as well. Then so far, so good. I mean, they have only won 2 buy rounds. Epsilon winning 3, but nevertheless, it's going to be eco round here. So there should be 6-3. Another money round here for Method. You can see the UMP there onto Weber. Stack up as much cash as possible and apply so much pressure to the CT side now.
Once again, the slow default coming out. Just hold your angles, play for picks. It's been working very well for them as Epsilon. They have been making the occasional mistakes. Early contact plays just peeking unprotected. This time around, they do get the information and are actually able to fall back.
Well, they have to fall back because of a failed Molotov. It does stunt the push, but then again, they are playing versus the eco, luckily. Freddie B trying to get a peek out, trying to get some information. A proper Molotov comes through, Money's upstairs, and now in the open he does fall.
Genko is going to get the opening frag, but there's a trade coming back in as actually Genko with the team attack on towards Pulse. Maybe a little bit of a rupture going on in the team, but they're hungry for more. Genko just on an absolute streak right now, ripping off heads left, right, and center. Maeve's in the rear, once again the last man left standing. Highly unlikely he does anything until around it. Just play for exit frags at this point, likely. See if you can scavenge a weapon. Genko does push in, but Genko will not allow any of his shenanigans.
When you're on eco, you're trying to get 1 or 2, well, 2 to 3 kills. I mean, if you get 2 frags, you're taking out potentially $8,000 worth of investment from the opposing side. So any money taken out of that bank of the opposing team is obviously a benefit to you potentially later on. I mean, you get a frag with a P250, that could put an AK onto a Tech 9 into the next round, obviously. So Weber now onto the UMP. 4,000 across the board and the money as well for Method, so they can buy up if they lose this one. The pressure is on Epsilon. They've lost 3 in a row right now, and already it's going to be a fast mid-play.
Hit him hard and fast, but let's see if that is going to work out. Weber should have been taken down there, but he pulls off the flick of his life as he hits the head of Freddy B, taking him down. Hungry as well as they just storm their way through. Not messing about at all. Maeve gets tagged down early, but it's only 2 HP. They have the crossfire, but the flashbang comes in somehow. He still fights through the blind. There's a hat trick for him to defend this side. Cosmine as well rips their clean off a Pulse with a response. 2 frags for him, and that is a great way to close it out.
The counter nades there are too strong from that CT side. Flashbang comes in, disorientates the T's as they try to push up middle. What you're trying to do on that mid rush is go through mid, take control of mid, but before you go over that middle wall, railing that middle wall, you want to smoke off connector and a Molotov off towards Hobbit, have a flash over as well. The problem is though, well, they're trying to set that up before they do try and take that A site. Obviously the counter nades were too strong. Good smoke there from Maeve. Plays the off angle. Method obviously never seen that before. Catches them off guard and he finds the hat trick frag there. The 3K stunting the push. Let's see there, this is a slow round here from Method. Going to be the default coming out. Once again, Nielsen towards the A site. He has used his smoke and flashbang, so smokes off towards Matrix. Flashes through mid as well. Trying to see if he can force 2 players to stay towards the A site, and he's done just that. 2-1-2 setup. And actually what's very common right now in the Metro as well is playing double towards drop, and here's why.
They're going to try and get those trades effectively, but they go 1 for 1. Barbar tries to respond once again, but Weber, even though he gets blind and forced back, he still finds the frag. They're in such a good position as well. Cosmine, it relies so heavily on him now. He needs to get the kills to buy his teammates enough time to rotate over, but it's unlikely. He does have the drop on him, but it's more of a one-and-done angle. As soon as he gives the game away, they should respond straight away, and Genko won't allow him to do anything. Rips his head clean off. Maeve and Smooya are miles out of position. They are going to try and cause a little bit of a kerfuffle as they come over, but it's highly unlikely they do anything here, Snods.
So, 2 versus 4. Should have really been going for the save here. I'm not quite sure how good their money is, but nevertheless, there's Smooya here towards Rock, trying to see if he can find an entry onto the side, make it 2 versus 3, and potentially from there it could be winnable. But he's been spotted. It's near enough impossible now, Jack.
Yeah, no reason to peek at all. Just play it smart. Pulse is going to go out for the frag anyway. Rips his head off on fire.
Look at that, 2,000. 0. Why is he not saving that scenario? You're going to have 3,000, roughly 3,000 on 2 teammates. You can drop over M4s. They could have had a 4 rifle buy into the next round, and instead they throw it away. What is the point?
Really just setting themselves into economic hell, yeah.
Yeah, lack of discipline already showing from the CT side. Maeve here wastes another $300 as well. So 7-4 now, 3-round difference between these 2 teams.
Let's have a think. Helping Smooya now, is it?
Yeah, let's have a think real quick. What's been successful? I think what's best right now for the CT side for Epsilon is they had success when they had Smooya with the AWP or Smooya towards B, right? Have someone to take control of platform, try and rotate a player off towards A. Yes, Method are tending to go towards that B site, but really you want information. You want, as a CT side, to have control of a portion of the map to be able to have better information and better rotations, because you saw how late Maeve and Smooya were towards that B site.
Once again as well, Method are getting the opening frag on the board. They take down Barbar just off these early aggressive plays. Weber, a lot of map control already. He's in drop. Prime time angle to just cut off the rotate of Epsilon. This is looking good.
It is indeed. 2 UMPs as well into Freddy and Smooya. Not really the best firepower you can have. So, rotation comes in. They are heading towards B. Freddy B will find that frag on towards Weber towards drop. So the look will not come in. CT defense spread. We're in a 4 versus 4, but the problem is on that CT side, you have to spread your defense. So really, it's a 4 versus 2 on this B side, Jack.
This is going to be so awkward, Freddy B. He needs to be the catalyst into the round, the difference maker, and get those opening frags as he is holding. He's going to spot handles in here. This quick flick comes over. Wanted to get the spray transfer, but it was not meant to be. Luckily enough, Cosmine goes for the trade. He gets the second kill as well, just in the nick of time. As Stanley will come in. He was very stealthy in the corner. Landed the shot, can recover the bomb. He's still got 50 seconds to play within the round, and a sprinkling of utility.
Has a smoke as well. Smokes off towards drop. Flashbang comes out as well. Will he face with it, though? That's the question. He does. They're blinding. He has to get the first frag. No, he doesn't. You can see as well, I thought he had that. He did as well. Whiffing the spray there slightly. Only tagging up Maeve instead. Smooth there with that last frag. We'll find it. So, another round on the board for Epsilon, and it's a 5 versus 7. Method, they had the advantage. They found the frag towards drop, but then they fell back. They went back towards B. Weber maybe pulling the trigger a little bit too early.
Yeah, and this is the thing as well. These rounds have been so close, even though Method are winning it.
Exactly.
Look at the economy.
And that was the power of finding those 1 or 2 eco frags per round as slowly you whittle down that T economy and you put players onto Tech 9s and UMPs and whatnot. 5 to 7. Method 2 rounds in the lead on round 13. If they win this one, try and have that 10 to 5 scoreline after winning the pistol, but if they lose it, if Epsilon can break the bank of Method here, you can see how low their money is, forced onto a Tech 9 and low utility. If they win this, they get to 6. They're playing versus the Eco, that's 7-7, and that final round could be the pendulum, the swinging point into who takes his first map.
Cosmin towards the speed bomb site. He has been playing his role quite well. Just depends if Freddie B can come into the fold as well. As they do just peek out. Genko goes for the early little information peek, just trying to see what he can. Obviously with the Tech 9 as well, the weapon where he can be a little bit more flamboyant. It's not as big of a risk.
It isn't indeed. Stanley now towards drop instead of Weber. CTs don't have the best information there towards platform. Genko though, tight in the cubby with that Tech 9. So Cosmin, if he decides to push, will meet his demise. But Genko peeks out with no flashbang as well. That could have been extremely risky if Cosmin peeks right now. But no. Timing is in Jenko's favor as he slowly walks back and retreats from B, but he's made no presence. There should be 2 players towards A here, surely.
You'd assume so at this point. I mean, there's been no noise towards B. They have no reason to be so heavily stacked. They have the quick rotating Smooya, but Smooya could be overpowered quite swiftly. Maeve goes down as well. There's the frag on towards Smooya that we expected. Weber gets the team going on Stanley, though. Causes a little bit of an issue, but they do have complete control of A. There's a welcome that.
Weber now can lock off the rotations towards this A site as well. Towards Connect, they have to cross his crosshair. Barbar towards drop. Freddie B as well towards T-spawn. Are they going to play for Exodus? I believe they should. If we can look at the money real quick, please. Kita, let's take a look. So yeah, 800, 600, apart from that, it's basically 0. Going to be saving this one like the call. The problem is, though, who is this behind him? It is Barbar. Will he be losing his M4? Actually, no. Finds himself an AK. Going to try to jump back towards window. Goes towards that B site and is going for that save.
Genko's actually on the hunt as well. They're going to push through into Connector. Just see if he can spot him out, if he was sticking by it for anything else into the round. But they have played it smart. One and done. Back off. Don't go extra John Rambo.
It's 2 times now we've seen a team kill come out from Method. Is it land jitters? Is there too much pressure on this game potentially? I mean, this is what we thought to be the final, right? Method versus Epsilon, the 2 powerhouses. Barbar just carelessly throwing his life away. I mean, are they really going to be boosting drop in that scenario? The chance is so unlikely. Usually when you hunt, you're going 1 by 1. And instead, he's holding for the boost and overfaces, and Genko finds that frag. So it's another gun, gone.
Yeah.
And what if, right, on this, they forced it.
Ooh.
Okay, so they don't want Method to get to 9 rounds here. They don't want to play for 9-6. They want to play for 8-7, and already we've got many players going towards that B site from Method. Flashbang comes up, but they're not going to really do much with it. Smoke comes out from Epsilon Esports. They have control of the platform, but Smooya pushes towards A long, catches pass off guard, but from mid, Genko's there. He has his teammates back, and you can see Smooya caught off guard, trying to find his team an entry.
They're doing really good jobs as well now as they make their way out on towards the bomb site. Straight through drop. Stanley, of course, has been so proficient in getting those opening frags. The main prolific fragger when they are situating them over towards the bomb site. It's just locking off angles left, right, and center. Weber going to strike as well, takes down Cosmin. And that entire investment for nothing. 1 kill on towards Stanley. Waste of cash now as Epsilon just get torn down. They're going to have nothing into that final round. I mean, their economy is going to be absolutely broken, isn't it?
Potentially, yeah, exactly that. So they're going to have to go for double force buy. I mean, they could have saved this one. Actually, no, I'm lying. They had $0, didn't they? So they lost that round. They go for the force buy around the 2 and 4s. It should have been 3 and 4s. They go for the force buy around that. And now they're broke on the last round. They're going to have to go for another 5-7 Kevlar buy, low utility. If I'm Method right now, I know that they're going to have a weak buy with weak utility. Play this one slow, bleed out all the smokes, flashbangs from that CT side. Just wait for B platform smoke to go, wait for the smokes for mid to go, and do a contact play together, and try and overpower and swarm these sites versus the pistols with your better firepower.
They've gone for the stack as well, just going to try and play 3-2, work together, get the trade efficiently, but the distance they're fighting from, this is going to be so awkward. They're just trying to take that mid control, encroaching slowly. They are doing damage with the pistol, but depends if they know about Nilzinho playing behind. Rock peeks up, finds 1 frag. It's actually Weber and Pulse to do some damage individually as well. And now they've just got Freddie B heading in towards mid. They can just take pot shots at him, eventually pick him off, and that is going to be a 10-5 half. And I think when you look at it as well, the entire time, they just kept going for these overface on the side of Epsilon. We saw them whittling away their own economy.
Exactly.
How many times do we see the AWP on Smooya? One of the reasons that they are very effective on Cobblestone as well is because the more aggressive AWP style he brings to the table, right? He catches him off guard. We saw it like twice maximum, and he didn't really do anything with it. So instantly, that puts him back into a role that he isn't as proficient at.
I mean, the thing is, I mean, I've AWP versus Method before, and it is hard because typically they do very slow contact plays, but they're flashing angles. They're smoking off choke points. I mean, we saw the A-long smokes coming out as well. Just basically, when we saw them play versus Reason a few days ago, they weren't smoking towards A-long. They're doing slow contact plays. They're walking through mid. They're walking up through that mid ramp, walking out A-long. If I'm on AWP versus that, yeah, of course I'm going to play passive. I'm going to get that one kill. I'm going to fall back towards balcony, get that second frag, fall back towards site, try and hold it. The problem is that they're changing their style here. They're not allowing Smooya's AWP when he has it to even have an impact into the round. And you can see really the CT setups as well. Once they don't have a man advantage, they play for themselves, right? Typically, it's like Cosmin alone on that site. If he doesn't find 2 kills, they lose it. They're not really playing together on that B site. I think the only setup I really saw where they were playing together was that one round where they had 3 towards B, someone baiting for someone else, but that was it.
Yeah, like,
and that was the time when they went A.
The only time we saw an actual efficient crossfire being played as well was the A site take, which was around they got off the back of a sort of
3K,
an overpowered spray control there as well that shouldn't have really connected and got all 3 frags. So it was more just a little bit of luck on that setup that works. But in terms of them actually trading efficiently, it's looking very off today.
It is indeed. So we are going to the second pistol. Method, if they take this one, don't allow Epsilon to plant the bomb and then win versus the Force by an Eco. If they have a 13-5 advantage, this map could be as good as done, Jack.
And you're looking at it as well, Method, one of the teams in the UK that can be unreal in their pistol rounds.
Maeve, though, smoked up a flashbang. Let's see what he does with that one. Probably a smoke towards connector, flash over balcony, and a flash maybe in the afterplant. Neil Zini with the smoke and diffuse kit. I prefer the smoke diffuse kit than what we saw Maeve had with the smoke double flash, though. Weber tested. Let's see what we can do.
So much information here, but he just needs to find the frags. It isn't meant to be. Sure, he gets the call out for the quick rotate that has now arrived. All the cavalry has hunkered down on the A bomb site, ready to just try and ward off these troublesome terrorists that are pushing in. Pulse will get the opening frag back on towards Freddie B. Cosmin gets spotted out by Nilzinho. How have they not realized what exactly Nilzinho is up to? It's him and Genko left to try and do damage, and Nilzinho is popping heads, but Maeve was on the site. He's in the back line. It doesn't take much for him to do that frag.
The kit is dropped towards B as well. You can see Genko just picking it up. He has the smoke as well. He can go for a smoke diffuse here, Jack.
Oh, they're aware of his position. It seems like they don't actually realize he's been able to get onto the site already. He's going to smoke early, gets the smoke down, goes for the elevator, face, finds the headshot, Genko! The second frag as well! Pulls it out of nothing. Genko back on form in Cobblestone.
That's huge as well. Finding that second pistol. They've won both pistols. When you win both pistols, you've got to be anticipating 6 rounds, but in this scenario here, it should be 5. Obviously, the fact that Epsilon did get the bomb down, which means they should save here. And then, sorry, they should eco this one and then buy up into the next one. The problem is, you're 5 to 11 down now. Do you go for the force buy? You can they get an AK? Cosmin could drop one, go for a Deagle, but no. They're going to be going for the disciplined play. They're going to be having the full eco into this one. Method now, the SMGs and FAMASs, they can stack up so much cash into this one. We should be seeing a 5-12 scoreline here, and the money should be strong in that Method bank.
They are going to be absolutely loving life at this point. Epsilon as well. You've got to imagine the energy in the team. Very emotional squad. It's got to be hitting them hard. Smooya goes down early as well, just off an individual face. Just hoping to do something off his own back, but it, of course, isn't going to go down that way. Stanley gets the opening frag with the UMP, so it's extra cash. Genko over at the barn will find a headshot over on towards Maeve as well. And Epsilon just looks stagnant right now. They're looking terrified.
Yep, they are indeed. Then again, though, you are going to be terrified if you have no Kevlar. You're playing versus the firepower that Pulse has, FAMAS. Freddie B last alive in the 1 versus 5. Method having 5 players alive. 3,500 extra into the bank. No players needing to be dropped as well. They can carry forth these SMGs. If they win the round of the UMPs as well, their money will be in such a good position. There's going to be so much economic pressure onto Freddie B and Co.
They go for the knife.
Outside and actually
go for the knife.
Look at Smooya there. He knows exactly what's going on. They're being schooled right now. The UK's teaching these Europeans how to play some CS on home soil.
Yeah, this is
outrageous.
Definitely an outrageous showing, exactly, from Method.
It was going to be like this, though, right? I mean, coming into this, you've got to be expecting either Epsilon to crush Method or Method to crush Epsilon. Yeah. It's one of the two. Anyway, here comes the buy now. They saved and they eco in the previous round for this. 5 AKs, decent utility as well. One of those UMPs has been dropped. He's bought an M4 instead. Genko on the M4A for this round. So, going to be black control here from Method. The deep Molotovs come through. Barbar, low HP, only takes 40 damage though. Well, this is what I mean. We never saw anything like this from Epsilon. They would smoke the end of it, they'd flash, but they would never Molotov. They'd never flush out those Ts to take control of B platform.
Method were allowed so much map control on their T side, whereas the same cannot be said for Epsilon. Freddy B will get the opener, but Genko responds with one frag, goes for one, but look how low Smooya is as well. Left on 10 HP. Weber's trying to get this information play off, but the main factor is that bomb's still close by. If he just hunkers down, Weber could be the catalyst into the round. This could be unreal if he plays his cards right, but it's not meant to be. Maeve with their instant response, knocks his head clean off. Stanley will find the frag on towards Smooya, but they've only just realized they've been lampooned, and it's the B bomb site that is under contention.
2 kits, a Molotov, that's it. No smoke, no flashbangs. They're going to have to go into this one dry. Pulse peeking out towards site, trying to see if he can find a frag towards this and make it 2 versus 2. But instead, though, Cosmin and Barbar find those final 2 frags. 12-6 will be our scoreline now. Let's take a look at the money here as well for Method on their CT side. So 4,000 across. Ooh, not really, actually. 2,000 there onto Genko. 1,400 Nils Juniors. They are not going to force this one. No, they're going to be going on to a half quasi buy, I would say. You can see HE smoke there for Pulse, smoke off platform. HE need it as well. And then Nils Junior on 1,100. If they go for a double save here, you could have an AWP into the next round. They have rounds to play with. They have a 6-round advantage, obviously. So, Epsilon, very commanding round there. Weber peeking out a little bit too early, gets caught off guard and gives up that B bomb site for free. Let's see if he can hold it down this time.
The thing is as well, it depends how calm and collective they're going to take this push towards the B-bomb site. If they're not clearing their angles like this, with the confidence that Method have, they're just going to try and take the fight to them. They pull it off the bag as well. Weber getting that first frag, even though he falls at this point. They've scavenged AK. Stanley could be so effective into the round, but it's not going to go that way. Smooth with the spray down as he is getting these frags off. That's going to be the hat-trick for the man. Hungry for the quad kill, as he will eventually take it. It's all just left on Genko, and he is miles out of position, trapped over at A, trying to work out what the hell has just occurred at B.
We are potentially hyping up an Eco 4K a little bit highly, but then again, right, think about it. 4 players alive now for Epsilon. Genko, if you can find another frag here, try and take out another $4,000 worth of investment. We could be seeing better Eco come out from them, but he lives just about, and as I say that, Freddy B will find that frag as Genko goes to the reface. 12-7 now, round number 20. So, let's take a look. Oh, we can take a look at the bio. We can see Smooya's beautiful face.
Sure, you can also see his beautiful entry on towards the B-bomb site. And the thing is as well, touching on the reason why one of these rounds are so important for him is him as an individual, a very emotional player. You feel like this is going to fire him up, get him back to that spot where he needs that confidence.
So, AWP now, Weber and Nils Junior as well. Are they going to be doing the double up setup we see? We see G2 run this, we see Virtus Pro run this, Pasha towards B, and then you have Snacks towards A. You've got Shocks towards B, you've got Kenny S towards A, and this time Nils Junior playing towards Connector. He will be the rotate AWP. Weber holding down that B side towards Statue. Typically, though, this changes up the rotations as well when you bring out the double AWP. Instead of the AWP rotating towards B, you don't want 2 AWPs in that B bomb set, right? You want to rotate over the Rifler, and the Rifler is Genko, but look how far he is towards Wood. Epsilon could maybe find some weakness here towards the B site. If they do smoke execute, they could only be playing versus 2 rifles and 2 AWPs. Yeah. That could maybe catch them off guard or catch them out, but nevertheless, though, Maeve comes down here towards Electric, peeks out, spots nothing. Counter smoke comes in towards Electric now. Method trying to contain the Ts. They know where they are. As I say that, though, they have no control towards B plat. They don't really have any presence as well towards this A site. And now look, you can see the swap, right? The rifle comes towards B, towards window, and the AWP is now the anchor of the A site, so they're playing it properly.
Yeah, they've sold the idea as well. Implanted the seed of doubt in their minds. They do believe this is going to be that late round B play. Maeve spots out Stanley. Luckily enough, he actually stays alive. That's so important. If he'd been taken down, this could have been even more of an awkward round. It will be the push towards the A-bomb site. Rides quite heavily on Nilzinho, holding them off. Stanley finds a frag on towards Maeve as well. So that rotate play is taken out of commission. They can rotate over as freely as they like to try and recover the bomb site. Genko doing damage to the M4 as well. Cosmin will respond. Nilzinho needed to find the frag, but unfortunately doesn't quite land it. Leaves them in a 2 versus 3. A slow, timid approach from Epsilon now because they don't want to run the risk of losing this one, but Weber will land a massive shot, takes down Cosmin. It's all on Smooya. His rifling skills have been looking better and better. An artist with the AK when he's on point, but with 10 seconds left to play with and he's out of position, he's not around, he's going to be able to win. Weber will strike, and they bounce back instantly.
The AWPs picking off each player one by one. As Epsilon fall to the hands of the AWP there from Weber and Nilzinho. 30-7 out, round 21. 6 rounds separating these 2 teams. Method need 3 to close this one out. Epsilon need 9. 9-3, and you know, looking at the consistency of buy rounds as well, Method should really have this one in the bag. UMP onto Maeve. Apart from that, it's going to be some strong firepower there. 3 AKs and an AWP. Fast play as well. Barber of the AK. A stern leader trying to take matters into his own hands. He does just that as he finds the frag onto Weber.
This is what he needs to do as well. Lead by example, get those opening frags, reinvigorate his troop. But unfortunately, it will not go down like that. Instantly gets snubbed out as Stanley fires back over towards B. Bit of a stalemate now as they're left in a 4 versus 3. 2 players towards drop down. They're going to be bringing the bomb over now. But Pulse, he has been very proficient in holding drop down. I mean, almost consistently throughout his career, very effective as you will get the opening frag. But this time around, it is a trade. Maeve left on 12 HP though, Snods. It's not the best case scenario, is it?
It isn't indeed. Let's take a look now. Smooya with the AWP going to be challenging Stanley, who has that AWP as well. Peeks towards Chicken Coop over the smoke, but won't see anyone just yet. Stanley right now, let's see. Is he holding the angle towards the right side of the box? Smooya has the bomb as well. If he falls here, the round could be over. Instead, though, he's worried about Electric, and already they managed to find themselves out of the platform and towards Speedway.
The contact AWP was Smooya, but he misses. The apple crumble gets served up. This could be the difference maker as well. They're completely aware. They can cover block, smoke him off as he has to try and charge in, force them to break rather than just bend as they're alive. Going to commit to the bomb plant now as well, just with a fake, hoping to bait him in. But Stanley gets the opening frag, retaliates with a Tech 9. Time's ticking away. He's got 25 seconds left to try and pull this round out of what is looking like it's starting to slip away. But he will find the frag on towards Genko. Can now fully commit to the bomb plant. It's an AWP versus AWP battle.
Kit there on Nilzinia whiffs the shot towards platform, and Smooya peeks out as well. Nilzinia has no idea that Smooya's changed the angle, but actually baits out the shot. Crosses towards stairs. This is close now.
He has made himself up towards the site. No real utility to play over on either side. Just trying to find that first angle as they play on the contact style. They will find the frag in the end. It's going to be Smooya to shut him down, but too close for comfort.
You saw how they were trying to force the play, force the plant, force the 2 versus 3. Smooya there towards Statue, wide facing towards Rock, towards Connect with that Tech 9 in hand. Epsilon right now desperate for these rounds. And even though they won it, you can see a UMP there onto Maeve, and the buy is so weak on Method as well. They did win pistol, but losing this buy round has broken their economy. Whether they're on the scout, they are going for the force buy. If they lose this one, Epsilon gets to 9. They play versus the Eco, should be 10. 10-13. At that point, the winner of the next buy round should really be taking this first map here on Cobblestone. Pulse, though, so strong towards drop. The only person I see, or the first person I saw play that off angle towards drop was Phelps, back when he was on Immortals. You play the off angle, when someone peeks out to check window and peek towards window, you're able to see the tip of their head and find a nice easy headshot using that off angle, but usually only works once or twice, right? We've already seen Pulse use that angle twice. Are Epsilon going to be expecting that? Will they try and counter it?
It's the thing as well, Epsilon seem frustrated in some of their decision-making, where they're going into those sites. We saw them not really clearing as common angles, and it's coming back to bite them absolutely massively. Into this buy as well, Method. Occasionally they do pull out some cheeky stuff with these off-buys. Maeve's in the backline though, finds Pulse. This time around, him being taken down gives so much map control to the T's, and it's just going to be easy for them to do what they want.
Tags come out, Maeve on 1 HP, Barber on 6. Freddie B finds another frag onto Genko. All down to Weber now with the scout. You can see the headshot there from Cosmine. Will send us to 9-13. And this should be the eco as well, right, from Method, right? 10-13, 3 rounds separating these 2 teams. If we get to that scenario and Method lose another buy round, who knows? Epsilon go for a fast play, they catch him off guard, right? 11-10. Another force buy, another eco. We could be seeing a 13-12 scoreline if Epsilon do win this next buy round. But obviously, they are versus the eco right now. Problem for them is, yes, you can try to build up money into this round and able to buy up if you lose rounds, but you've only got 3 rounds to give. You lose 3, Method get to that all-important 16th, and they take this first map.
A slow contact style approach now as they take control of side, slowly getting their feet wet.
You can see how close they are as well. They're playing for the trade game, not giving away exactly where they are. They might actually be able to catch off. Who is this towards APC? That is Nilzinho. Peeks out, spots one player, goes to the replays, and somehow, some way, he's still alive, but eventually Cosmo will find that frag, and very close spacing towards these 2 players, and that means they can play the trade game. Freddie B, a little bit far ahead there, but nevertheless, they're playing versus unkevlared enemies. Nice, easy spray downs.
Yeah, gets the dink as well now, so will quickly be eliminated. That's a nice little double kill. But this is where the game begins once again. Obviously, the economy of Method should have rebuilt itself a little bit, so they are ready to try and have some kind of standoff.
So, round 24, what's the buy? 5 M4s on the Method side, 4 AKs and an AWP on to Smooya for Epsilon. No kit as well.
No kit. And look how lack their economy is as well for terms of nades. No Molotovs.
Yeah, they have no AWP. Epsilon been doing a lot of A-long contact plays. I want to see a double setup here from the CT side of Method. Double towards Matrix, double towards A-long. And yeah, I like this. They should be able to find one frag here, fall back towards mid, or try and retreat back without giving away a frag to that T side. So let's see. The problem is that you can see if Genko doesn't find a frag here or gets traded instantly, that leaves Nilzinho in such an awkward position. He needs the frags.
Smear on the contact AWP as well can normally be a nuisance, but Genko kicks it off. They're not aware of the location of Nilzinho as well, as he strikes and gets the double kill. And he's in the rear. Maeve running straight past him, but he's not going to clear it. Barbar's quick on these heels, but luckily enough, Nilzinho is aware of it. Here's the audio cue. Pulse comes into effect, and Method instantly start to lock it down.
That's what we were lacking from Epsilon's CT side setups. Playing together, doubling up, having each other's angles. And you can see, Genko finds one frag, gets traded out, but look at the position Nilzinho was in. Such an easy spread on there. Doesn't even allow a headshot, just sprays them through the body and gets those 2 kills, making it 14 to 10 now. Money though, 900, 150 on Nilzinho. Epsilon, their goal right now to get back into this is to break the bank up Method. Win this round, get to 11, play versus the Force by win it, win versus the Eco. You've reset the money loss bonus now for Method. Try get to 10-14, win this one cleanly, and try send us to that round 29. But enough of the future and into the past as we see an AK there onto Pulse. Apart from that, more of the same setup here from the CT side, except from the fact Genko is alone on A, playing further back. Epsilon here change up their style of approach here. They smoke off Matrix. Genko caught off guard of the molly.
Ridiculous with the time in there. Genko should have been punished, but Genko pulls up the hat-trick nearly. The 4K as well should have been shut down. He had his pants right around his ankles, but he was able to get away with far too much. And Smooya and Freddie B, the last 2 left standing. Freddie B's in the backline, luckily, so we can find the kill on towards Stanley. Could throw a bit of a spanner into the works, but the thing is, Weber, all he's got to do is hold. As long as he just holds this angle, they're going to have to push straight past him. Smooya's already on 56 HP. Even if he clears it, it's unlikely, Snods.
It's bomb as well. Freddie B towards that B site. If Smooya loses the bomb here towards T-spawn, outside drop, the round is almost instantly lost. Freddie B trying to see if he can cause a ruse here towards A site. Find a frag on one of the rotators and then go back towards B. Maybe he's anticipating them to be stacking A, but Weber here with the off angle.
Thing is, no matter what, Weber just has to hunker down and hold his ground. Has no real reason to rotate into this. Smooya has actually backed off, though Freddie B must have made the call that he's going to try and make a play towards A. Finds the opening shot, nearly the double kill, but it's not quite enough. Pulse is low. As long as he just stays alive, waits for the rotate to come over, and they play together, but Pulse, he's a powerful man. He peeks out and puts pressure on the situation, taking down Smooya, and Method keep on trucking.
15 to 10 now, match point for the CT side. Look at this, though. 3 frags he definitely shouldn't be finding. I mean, it seems like every single time I cast Genko on Cobblestone, if he's not finding success towards the B side, he's playing that top of mid-ramp. He loves that position, holds the off angle, they walk into his crosshair, easy spray down.
Dude, 26 frags right now. He is always the impact fragger on Method, or no matter what team he's ever played on. On Cobblestone, he is that main impact fragger, always barrels of impact frags.
That's how he rose up in the scene as well. That crazy game he had versus Rise. I mean, 38 frags in a 16 to 5 game, I believe it was. It was something outrageous, close to 40 in, what, 25 rounds, but that was his rise to fame. He was on Cobblestone, and a year later, here he is on the stage, repeating that similar performance. Default here from Epsilon. They know that this could be the end. If they lose this round, they don't want to be giving away any advantage here to Method. It seems like when they find that first frag, they don't give up. They don't allow Epsilon to come back into this one. 10 onto Barbar, UMP on Smooya. UMP is well onto Maeve. They haven't opened Freddie B, right? Tom asked the desk, what could be a sign of there's issues in a team, right? And this could be it. The fact that Smooya the AWPer is not the one AWPing. Yeah. Is there a power struggle right now on this T side?
Potentially some bickering going on. You never know. Freddie B will go for the early face towards mid, though, just playing for information right now. Maeve's actually very up close, though. He's already managed to get in towards Matrix. And he is trying to run his luck a little bit. He will be that late round lurk towards the A bomb site when the true attack is going down towards B. Heavy drop down control here.
CTs, though, wise. They don't want to play anywhere close to those Tech 9s. Playing far back. Let's see, who's number 8? That is Pulse, the dedicated drop player. Actually leaves drop, so Electric could potentially be wide open. You can see as well Stanley playing such an open position as well. And soon he finds the first one to make. Here it comes.
Oh, Weber whiffs the shot though. Whistles again as they actually try and push their way past. He's struggling. He does land the flick. Luckily enough, it is a tag on Smooya. Softens him up enough for Pulse to take him down. As they
Someone
now
land a
push their
shot!
way through. They need to do something. There's no time left to play with as well as they are on the bomb side, but they lose. If they can't plant right now, they're not going to find the frags. This round's over. Method have locked it out just by holding for time.
Battle of the whiffs there towards Chicken Coop and B platform. Then again though, right? If you're on that CT side, all you're doing is causing time. Even though he's whiffing, he's dodging, he's darting, he's peeking, he's falling back there, Jiggle peeking. The whiffs came through, the pressure got to him, and the factor's missing, they ran out of time.
I think this sums up the entire display of Epsilon in that matchup. That final round really puts it into a nice little package because the thing is, they look scared the entire game.
And not just that, the fact that the AWP was in Freddy B's hands, why was Smooya not wielding that, the primary AWP, for this international side?
It just looked messy, they looked confused, it looked like there was just odd decision making, and it didn't work structurally. They didn't seem like it was a fluid transition, they were all over the place.
They were indeed. So, map 1, what was that, 16-10 or 16-11? I think it was 16-10. Yeah. Map 2, yeah, 16-10. Map 2 is loading at Mirage, but I believe it was Nuke.
I think it is actually Mirage. I don't think that Nuke made it through, luckily enough.
Is that Mr. D?
It is indeed Mr. D. I just wanted to say, Snods, obviously, it's a big day, so I thought I'd bring that in. What a match that was. Method taking a 1-0 lead against Epsilon. We're going to have a quick break, but first of all, it's a happy birthday for Snods.
Thank you. 20 today. No longer a teenager. Let's take a look. Two Snods, have a great day. Casting you legend from Tom.
Oh, mate, but you know what? There's no money in there.
Though?
No kisses, no money. It does say with love. Anyway, listen, we'll tell you what, we'll have a little quick break, then we'll come back and then we'll see map 2. Welcome back to the Elite Series. It is Saturday, it is the CSGO day. We just watched map 1 of Method versus Epsilon. It was Cobblestone and it finished 16-10 to Method. Very, very strong right there. One of the players standing out after that was Csgo. I believe his ADR was about a 1-2-4. So he is absolutely bossing it today. Joining me on the desk, we've got Thorin. And we've got SEO, and as we can see from this gameplay at the end, some really strong performances.
Yeah, Csgo especially. It felt like he was back in his comfortable zone. I remember Snods mentioned it. I think it was an I-Series last summer against Rise Gaming on Cobble where he was incredible. It felt like he was just watching that same game.
Yeah, I mean, it was lethal. Csgo was lethal. He was sick very early on in the last match last week against Excel. Sick again today, but on his gameplay this time.
Yeah, and obviously there's a couple of players. Stanley as well had a very good game. And you looked, when Method was running away with the game, where they were right up at like 13-9, 30, a bunch of the other players were sub 10 kills, you know, so it's not like the entire team was just dominating the game, but all the key impact kills were there from the star players over on the side of Method. And it's surprising when you think about the interview before the game where, I mean, he sounded pretty lackluster, didn't he? Like he didn't feel that confident because they looked night and day compared to the other UK team we saw earlier, Reason, who were fairly lackluster entirely in the game. Yeah, there was various points where Nilzinho and Weber were able to AWP. I mean, there's the stats in front of us there about Csgo. 27 kills, ADR is 1-2-4. I mean, an elite rating is 21.17. That's sort of, you know, that would beat any team, those sort of stats.
Yeah, it's an outlier, definitely. I think you mentioned that the elite rating average is about 10.
Yeah.
So to have more than double that.
He's basically two players out there.
Yeah, he was effectively two players. I think he did combine to have more kills than two of their players as well.
This was a 2 against 1 that he had at some point during the match when it was a 10-5.
Pistol.
And
well, actually, when you consider how the game ended, obviously the pistol rounds were very key in this one.
Yeah, Method took both pistols, and obviously this is the 2v1 that Csgo got. It's very lucky he did manage to get that kit along the way. Otherwise this probably wouldn't have been possible.
oh.
That first shot's ridiculous.
Just flipped to a knife just for good measure there as well before defusing the bomb. Is there anyone else who stood out for you, you know, good or bad particular play?
Thorin mentioned Stanley. Like, Stanley was another one who I think he was only like 5 kills behind. He was picking up the AWP sometimes as well. I think in the last like 4 rounds he did have the AWP over Weber. So obviously he stood out as well. And we mentioned Weber before, and I even mentioned Pulse. They didn't really need to do as much. Like, you know, Thorin mentioned that they were both on, you know, par 10 kills. Like, they didn't do that much, but you know, they won the game, so they should just be focusing on the second map now.
It was a really good team play. We spoke to Barbo, or Yasmin did, before map 1, and he didn't want to talk about any tensions, but began to see it. Obviously, Jackie and Snods alluded to it, with Smoya not even AWPing. That's his normal role.
Yeah.
Can we read too much into that? I mean, what are they a settled side? Because they didn't look like it.
I mean, they are obviously very new with this mix. Like, it's not a natural lineup that you'd expect to see play together. But I actually think that it's the factor that they're staying in that same team house, though, because that element where you're not just practicing together, you're literally around each other all the time, that is going to potentially cause tensions if people just don't get along. And then there's the factor that when you spend all your time playing with people and practicing with them, you're going to want to get away from them in a way. So actually, I didn't read too much into that whole story that he wasn't with the team, you know. As long as you play well in the game. I thought he actually played pretty well all in all. Maybe baited a little bit, but that's just his style of play, apparently. I think if you're the guys from Epsilon, it started so poorly that even to claw it back there, you're at least feeling like you've got your game going now going into your map. Because, yeah, at the beginning, it wasn't really winnable. They were getting all the key rounds. But they've gradually pieced together what looks like a decent team, even if Method ultimately looking like the better team overall. So
what is Smoya's role then? Normally, I expected him to be AWPing at various points of the game, and he wasn't because, you know, other team members took that role. So what's been his role in Cobblestone?
He definitely still is the AWPer. It's just, I think that one round in particular, it was a case of so-and-so has a better spawn than you, give it to him for that bit, and then, you know, after a while, you'd switch it back as soon as things have come back to like a default, so to speak. So he is definitely the AWPer. It's just sometimes they've obviously preferred, in this situation, it's better off, say, Barber has it, or, you know, Freddie be in that situation.
So next map, we can look at it. Map 2, let's talk about it because it's Mirage now. What can we expect from that? We haven't seen Mirage today in matchup 1, so what can we expect from this map?
It's Method I'm expecting to do quite well on it again, because they won last week. It wasn't their pick last week either. They've always been comfortable on it, put it this way. They're quite drilled in it. They have a lot of set pistols I know about. They've got a lot of set strats as well. So against Epsilon, who might not be as, say, drilled on this map, it could be quite good for them.
Yeah, I think this is a good example of where just because it's the pick of Epsilon, it's not that they have some clear advantage at this point in time. Actually, I think it's going to be a really good game. I think Method is really on for the 2-0 now. It's absolutely possible after that first map. Beyond the map specialty, they just looked like a much better team. They looked a lot more coordinated. They seemed actually to have no players who were playing scared, unlike the first game we saw from Reason. So I think this should be a tight one, but I think Method can go ahead and potentially 2-0 and really kind of make a statement for the rest of the tournament. Yeah,
from someone that just was recently playing for Endpoint, you've just lost your first map. What do you do? How do you communicate as a team? Do you to give an insight into people who are just getting into CSGO? How do you turn it around?
Well, obviously, you just need to make sure you forget about it. It's, as much as you want to think about, oh, but we could have done this, we could have done that. It doesn't matter now. It's happened. You can forget about it. Their pick. We got 10 rounds there. We were unlucky a few times. That's fine. Just move on, focus on your next map. Just forget about what happened.
Kind of like your time in Endpoint, you know. It
happened.
Forget about it. And just move on to the next map.
Exactly.
Well, we can see the boys right now on the screen, and they look pretty focused. I mean, that's some well-slicked hair there. I absolutely adore that. Hats on, sort of heads down, just getting on with it, and Smoya right at the end there. Just getting ready. Do they have a coach, Epsilon? Do they have a coach?
No, they don't.
What's the downside to not having a coach when you might need one right now?
A sixth pair of eyes is obviously an addition you can have just to overview things, but it can also work as like a sort of middleman to speak to. If it's the conflict, for example, they can have, well, this player's having an issue with this player. He can be their kind of mediator, so to speak. But obviously you're missing the in-game part as well, where he can help get tactics, for example, or defaults, that kind of stuff. So it's useful to have it, but it's just you need to utilise it correctly.
The thing is, in their particular case, if they don't have someone who fits with the team, or they don't need it, for example, an upside of living in a team house is, in theory, you can work on things all around the clock. You know, you can always be talking to someone. I've come up with an idea or something. You don't have to wait till you see them the next day. You're there in the team house. And then you've got to consider, since Barbar really has dedicated himself to being the in-game leader, teams with stronger in-game leaders or people who have a very set way of playing don't need the coach as much, you know. It's more the more inexperienced or the looser in-game leaders who tend to want their coach to kind of make up some of the slack for them, to do the research, to watch their demos. For a game like this, and especially for a league where you already know who you're going to be playing in advance, if you're the in-game leader, you probably can get a lot of that work done. So I think maybe not as much of a concern at this tournament.
Could it be a factor that you just overplaying? I mean, you know, heaven forbid we discussed this, but for these,
I know UK players won't know what that means. Overplaying?
Yeah. Well, what would be a sort of stat? I mean, obviously Epsilon got the house time. It's you wake up morning, you play till about 8, but you can overplay, you can overthink things, and you can't just let your natural fluid game come out.
I think really that's just something you have to learn by experience. You know, you figure out for tournaments how to peak for them, like how to do practice in advance. Sometimes you want like a cooling off period after your practice so that you come into the tournament and you want to play Counter-Strike, you're into it in that sense. There certainly can be some burnout if you just play, you know, the 4 or 5 days very heavily beforehand. Then if you kind of hit a bad rut, it's going to be tough to get out of it. I think for every team, though, it's different. It depends on the mentality of the players in the team. There's some players just love to play, and they want to play as much as possible so that they feel totally prepared. That's where their confidence comes from. Some players, yeah, if they're someone who they suffer from a bit of burnout, then, yeah, maybe you want to give that guy a bit more rest, just have him just start to simmer in the game.
Now, I know the players we can hear in the background just sort of getting ready, getting settled. With Method going into map 2, they didn't pick this one, Mirage. How were they looking on the CT side and on the T side? Were they looking sort of even par?
Honestly, in Cobble, they felt a lot more comfortable. I mentioned on Nuke, they didn't look like they actually knew what they were doing for the most part, which, you know, it's kind of a bit difficult to watch, really, sometimes. But Cobble
Nuke's a difficult one for CT and T side.
Yeah,
you know?
like the T side especially, it was like their default. They kind of had an idea of what they want to do, what they want to do when they reach X position or Y position, what we're going to do, like, you know, at a minute in the round or something like that. So it's a case of, like, being comfortable, I suppose, is the best thing. Like, they clearly know what they want to do. It's just make sure you do it. Like, don't stray off for no reason.
Perfect. Well, listen, I gave him a birthday card just a second ago. He's over there. I'm sure he's enjoying that birthday celebration over there.
Loving it.
Mate, I love that. Oh, please keep that there.
Of course.
And Jackie, looking forward to map 2.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think this is going to be good. I mean, we've got the good luck charm now as well, right? Exactly. So the energy's got to be high. We've got to be absolutely loving it. And this is the thing, getting into Mirage as a map for them, it's interesting because we actually saw them play Mirage 2 days ago.
Method, yeah. Notoriously, back when they were FM, they are so strong on their T side. I mean, I've AWP'd, I've played versus Method on Mirage before, and one of the things is they're very good at smoking off angles, flashing angles. It's very hard to AWP versus a team like this. Question for me is, what happens when Epsilon can't find those entries across the map? Even on their CT side, what can Smooth's AWP do towards mid?
Things as well, if we look at it just as a statistical benchmark, the game they played over on Thursday was against Reason. Yeah, now, Reason haven't had the best showing today.
Did get the 1-1.
Yeah, Reason actually went 1-1 against them. Nearly actually took the... no, wait, wasn't it the 2-0 for Method and they nearly took it 1-1?
I meant last Elite Series.
Yeah, sorry. That's what I mean. Method actually have taken it with the 19-15 in overtime on Mirage. But it was actually a very good showing on Mirage from Reason. Looked very, very skilled. They were looking dominant. Coming into this, it depends how well the Epsilon plays here, because we know how structured Method is. We know what's in their playbook. We've seen a lot of it. But for Epsilon, it's more of a limiting factor.
For me, it's the T side from Method, right?
Yeah, of course.
The T side is so strong. They play very methodical. They can play the loose style. They can play that contact level of play if they need to. On their CT side, that's usually where they see the struggles, right? You need this T pistol. You need that first bar round. You need at least 9 rounds on your T side. For me personally, if I think they're going to take this one, Epsilon on their T side, you've got such highly skilled players. I mean, Cosmine, we see some very good precision from him. Smooth as well with the AWP. He's going to find entries towards the map on that T side. It's how much can you lock it down, and how many of those terrace rounds can you really get to have yourself a buffer once you do head over and swap over to that CT side.
Epsilon need to reset as well, though, mentally. If they come into this still sort of a little bit down, a little bit timid off the back of the previous round, it might get to him. But Smear, he's looking like he wants to spin to win. He wants to bring it back into the fold, so maybe.
Trying to use the fidget spinner to maybe get his... Oh! Is he trying to be a bit flamboyant now?
Hey, there he is.
Hopefully he can do tricks like that in the server.
At least he's talented at something, eh?
Oh, you're giving it, mate. So... Smoothie, that star player of the old Endpoint roster, moved over to this international lineup. Had to play a lot more reserved as well, right? Before, he was so strong getting that first kill, roaming around the map. Now he has to play far more disciplined, and that disciplined style and that more supportive style has definitely changed his role and potentially his effectiveness as well.
You can see he's actually on a leash in this lineup compared to all previous lineups.
Exactly.
What he said went, even when he wasn't, like, you know, in charge of the lineup. He was just calling the pack from his own sort of mindset.
So we are going to be going into the first pistol of the second map here. Mirage between Epsilon and Method. Smina peeking towards mid. Jenk of the bad spawn as well. Face gets dinked up as well. This could be huge. He has to go towards CT now. Connector is weak right now.
Luckily enough, Pulse is in position. He's hunkered down towards Sandwich, and they have rotated over. Genko has got into position quickly enough. Barbar gets spotted out as well, but Pulse can't quite connect the shots, just keeping him at bay at the very least. So they're trying to get these opening frags. They go 1-for-1 instantly. Smuya finds the opening frag, but Pulse retaliates. Smuya, another frag as well, though, dispatching him. Weber has arrived to try and aid the teammates, and it's looking good. They do slow down the push.
They do indeed. A 3 versus 2 now. One-man lead right now for Method. They have the kit as well into Nilzinho, but Genko is low HP, still dinked up. Weber, he knows exactly where Freddy B is. He knows it's towards jungle. As well, Smooth towards the site, has the bomb. He's planting from mid. No one from short or anything can peek him.
Oh, Freddy B can get back into position as well. This plant 4 short is so great for them. Smooth actually takes the fight towards CT, pulls out the bag, and the thing is, Nilzinho goes down, not Genko. Genko's the low one. He's now recovered the kit as well.
He has that kit once again. We saw the 1 versus 2 come up from him earlier, but this time he's on 16 HP. Weber towards connecting his core gun, but somehow Freddy B will find that frag. Genko knows exactly where Freddy B is, has to land the one-shot headshot. He's on 5 HP.
Genko trying to take the fight, just has to do what he can. Time's ticking away. Not a lot of time left, has to force his hand, and Freddy B will overpower him. Such a close pistol.
The power from that dink towards mid, right? I said it will have a late impact into the round, and it does just that. Imagine he jiggle peeks out, spots them, falls back, maybe gets one shot, you know, hit like 11 damage from 1 bullet from the Glock or whatever, but falls back safely. He takes so much damage. He has to play scared and timid. He can't face towards the players crossing when he was CT spawn. And that allows Epsilon to get the bomb down to plant for Connector. And Freddy B having such a big advantage there in the after plant going towards Connector. Weber peeks out towards mid with the scout. Doesn't quite land anything just yet though.
That's the thing as well. Weber with the scout in his hands. Very effective, just roaming around. We're going to see him trying to get those early tags in, just making them quite squishy so they don't have much sustain left, so it's easier for Method to shut them down later into the round.
It is indeed. Full force buy as well. Weber, usually the AWP on Mirage, has not enough money if they lose this round to buy up the AWP into the first buy round, and already 2 players lost for the CT side.
This is getting awkward. Weber hasn't been able to find any tags as well. Everyone almost at full HP on that T side. Genko, though, he's got a bit of confidence, tries to do some damage, but bites off way more than he can actually chew.
But now the scout tags up 1 player, goes for the second, actually lands the headshot there onto Smoothie. The bomb is down towards Connector. They can retrieve it though, it's only the 2 versus 3 here, but some of the players are low.
This is big though. Look, both players on 30 HP. The only one that isn't is Freddy B on 79. They have that CZ on Nilzinho. Neil up close and personal can be an absolute beast with a weapon.
No kit though, so they need to find the frags. 1 HP now, Freddy B, 30 on Maeve, 30 on Barbar as well. The scout is pretty much an AWP in the hands of Weber right now because they're on such low health. How is he still whipping these shots?
Very uncharacteristic, but this is the thing, an awful lot of damage has been done, but Epsilon do get the bomb planted. If they keep these players alive now as well and shut down Weber, that's a huge round for them. It will be a great showing. Just fake them together, even if you get 1 kill, they're always going to get the trade.
My goodness, they lined up there as well. Freddy B on 1 HP, there could have been a collateral scout shot there. Weber, the AWPer for Method on the CT side of Mirage, goes towards window, very good at making the Kenny S jump there towards short, or the JW jump. It's very important as well to land that jump or be able to, because you jump on short, on the railing, you can see above the smoke, you know if Epsilon are coming out top mid. If they smoke top mid to try and cover info, but there's no one there, you know they're stacked towards A or B, and it's going to be a contact or an execute.
This time around, hit with a fast play though. Smooth just wants to try and rack up an awful lot of cash. Try get some extra dosh so we can get the AWP out sooner rather than later. We'll find the 1 headshot on towards Weber. The AK comes in to punish Genko and Stanley. Actually, Pulse does find a frag. He's in a good position. Nearly gets the double kill. It would have been manageable, potentially. Nilzinho as well scavenges the AK. Even if he just backs off now,
Exactly.
not too bad of a round.
Why on earth is Cosmin jumping through that smoke versus the eco? Gives away $4,000, $5,000 worth of investment. Now Nilzinho has an AK towards B. Fairly undisciplined plays here from Epsilon. That's what we've really been seeing. I mean, I asked one of the players after the game what the next map was, right? Because I was a bit confused. I wasn't sure. I was told it was Nuke. I was told it was Mirage, whatever. I was like, is the next map Nuke? And Barbar goes, oh, sorry, Freddy B goes, I hope it's not Nuke. And what does that mean, right? They rely on the puggy style of play, right? They've banned Train.
Yeah.
They've banned Nuke. They prefer the looser style play. The problem is when you're playing versus a team that has a similar level of skill than you, which Method definitely does, you don't have that tactical depth to fall back on, right? When things don't go your way, what do you fall back to if it's not just headshots and opening kills from Smooth's AWP?
Things as well, it's got to be frustrating for Barbar. Because when you look at it, Nilzinho as well, so much more of a depth in his playbook, a lot more to work with. The team has a lot more strategy as well. Even though with Genko coming freshly back into the lineup and they've had to adjust things slightly, they still have way more time spent together as a core than Epsilon have been able to get together.
They do indeed. So, heading to the first bar round now of the second map, Method at 0, Epsilon at 3 after winning the pistol. They have brought over this UMP onto Maeve. AWP on Smooth, no AWP on the CT side. Weber here towards Connector playing rather aggressively. Spamming that smoke towards top mid. Epsilon, they're playing slow and passive. They're playing the double underpass to top mid, take control of middle, get towards Connector, try get a window boost going as well, try and find an entry towards the A site. And if you can dent that CT defense, try and swarm the site with a man advantage.
Nades are going to be soaring through the air right now, tagging up players with a little bit of splash damage.
There's the window boost I was talking about. This is why you go for the double underpass play. Weber didn't quite see the foot there of Freddy B. Is his toe sticking out?
Depends if Weber has caught a whiff of the man that is up close and personal. It does rely quite heavily on whoever gets this opening frag. It will set the scene. Weber finds the headshot though, and he's getting information off the back of that.
So, first frag there, going in favor of the CT side. Weber, without the AWP towards jungle, but the M4 does find that kill. Maeve, somehow, some ways, lurked up short. Genko not spotting it, but it manages to understand that there could be people up short. Finds that frag, Smoother the fast reply frag onto bench. Pulse dies as well, Barbar finds the entry. Nilzinho towards Connector, doesn't find that kill onto Cosmin.
Ridiculous, you'd imagine he would have got it, but look how deep Barbar goes, trying to gain CT control. Runs out with his knife out at that point, surely he should have been aware there was a chance. So the thing is, a 2 versus 2 retake like this is manageable. They have utility, and Weber gets the opening frag, takes down Smoother, that's a critical kill. Look how low Cosmin is. He can only focus on one angle at once. He's so in the open, Stanley can just peek happily and kill him.
First buy round now, going in favor of Method. The M4's paying off. Let's take a look at the buy coming into the next one. The fuse will come in. No kit, actually, that's the thing I was going to mention, right? You're in a 2 versus 2, you have no kit. The problem was, obviously, Cosmin and 4 HP. What can you really do? You can try and play headshot angle on top of the double boxes, the triple boxes, sorry. Try and jump onto them, play that headshot angle, kill the player towards CT, and then try and fight the player that could be towards ramp, palace, connector, anywhere.
Look at that shot as well towards Smooth by ramp.
Precise.
Very juicy.
It was indeed. So, 3-1, buy coming out now. Is that an AWP? No, still going to be... Oh, sorry, yeah. No AWP on the T side, but now we are seeing the AWP onto Weber towards window. Flush comes in towards mid, peeks out, but it's smoked. He has no idea how many players right now there are towards the middle. From Epsilon, he's already seen a window boost come out into play on the first buy round, so he's going to be anticipating that Epsilon are going for a heavy mid-control style of CS. But as I say, that 3 players in the bomb are slowly contacting towards B. The T's towards mid can smoke off connector. They can molly towards window, smoke window, get up short. Maeve probably gave the call at how easy it was to get up there.
Let's see if that is going to be the case. They push their way through. Freddie B has actually slipped on towards short, gets the opening headshot and the follow-up as well. That's the most devastating factor. There's no efficient trade there, so now they can just storm on, do whatever they like, and that rotate is going to be so cut off.
Such poor communication there between Genko and Yozinho. Pastors found that frag onto Maeve, but it's not quite enough as Epsilon take the second buy round. But communication, okay? If you're Genko and you're the short player, you have to let Yozinho know who's playing towards B-plat, or the balcony, sorry, that they can peek you from short. He's not spotting it, which allowed Freddie B to come up short, find a very easy frag there onto Yozinho. He wasn't even looking anywhere near him. Then obviously Genko's alone versus 4 players on that B site, and he fell down with about 1 kill.
Yeah. Not great.
Wasn't indeed, and what's not great as well is going to be the money from Method. They are saving 3 guns here. Let's take a look. So 1,200 plus 2.6k. There it is on Pulse. He can drop over a FAMAS. Weber can throw over a UMP as well, but if they buy up into this one, the utility will be weak. We might not see any Molotovs. You know, if Yozinho had better comms there with Genko, if he was jump spotting, right, instead of just standing there on balcony, he could have saw the 3 players there. If he had a molly, Molotoved off, played further back. Genko as well could have fell towards the site, and maybe we could have had another round there from Method, but instead they are at the cusp of being reset. 2 UMPs. If they lose this one, Epsilon will get to 5. They'll play versus the Force by Method, and then the Eco. We could be seeing a 1-7, a 1-6 scoreline on the T side already from Epsilon Esports. I mentioned in the preface before, Jackie, that it's a weak CT side from Method. They have to get it together.
They need to try it and lock some stuff down now. Get a few rounds in the bank to give him a buffer to play with. Stanley gets overwhelmed though. Smuya just thunders his way in, charging in like an absolute madman in towards CT. Will get that opening kill. Already they're at a deficit. Weber is trying to claw it back, hoping to just do something. They get the information that Freddie B has now taken CT control as well. But look at Maeve, just playing up close and personal, trying to keep him at bay. They're doing a very good job of at least slowing down this retake, so it takes so long into the round. Pulse will come into effect. Smuya overpowers Yozinho though, and they're left with just 1 man standing actually. It's Maeve all of a sudden. They have chipped through. They found the chink in the armor. It wasn't going as great as it should have done, but they make it manageable. Maeve welcomes himself to the scoreboard, but Weber comes back in, shuts him down. He's got the kit as well, and I think he has this just in the nick of time.
Time is of the essence. As Method get the second round on the board. If they lost that, that could have spelled the end for them in the first half already on their CT side. Losing that, 1-6 scoreline potentially, and from there, Epsilon have nearly won the half. So, thankfully though, if you're a Method fan out there, they did take that second round. This might be a pause, I'm not quite too sure. Be interesting to see the buy that comes out. Okay, so, T-Side Forces one, you can see, 0 money if they lose this one. Method as well. On that 4 rifle setup, a FAMAS onto Yozinho, Orp there onto Weber. Orp on Smuya this time, not Freddie B, that's a good sign. Nevertheless, though, another stack, another contact play where Epsilon group together towards a sector of the map, be it A, be it B. And what on earth is Cosmin doing again?
He's so low and so much confidence, but it's not going to work out. It takes 1 bullet from Yozinho, but he plays off the angle and punishes Yozinho. This is messy. Luckily enough, Genko's there, and Genko knows how to really be a showstopper. Pulse comes over to try and help him out a little bit, take the weight off his shoulders. Maeve just toying with the opposition, trying to play with his food, but he will be taken down. Smuya gets dinked down to 12 as well before he finds the frag. This retake is entirely possible. Oh, but look at the play from Freddie B. Has the rotate cut off. He's going to spot out. Weber takes him down. Now things get very awkward for Stanley. This retake's going to be so hard. Left on his lonesome, no kit as well.
They know exactly where he is. Freddie B will hold off the rotation there from Kitchen. He knows if Stanley tries to fall back. Timing not in the essence though, as Stanley does manage to stay alive just about. Flash comes in, but Freddie B dodges it, peeks out and finds that frag there onto Stan. Round lost there for Method. 2-5 will be your scoreline.
It's so awkward trying to take that fight as well there, obviously. A prime-time position. All we had to do was hold his angle, and he won that 99% of the time.
Cosmin though, right? Did he not understand the call? I mean, when you are stuck together, and a Molotov comes in, maybe if it separates you, right? But someone calls push, or someone says wait, right? And you all do the same thing together. You can't have 2 players pushing through a Molotov and 2 not. Instead, Cosmin goes alone and somehow manages to catch Neilzinho off guard and actually opens up that B site with a very audacious and incredibly risky play. This is the eco, though, from Method. There should be 6 rounds on the board here from Epsilon and a potential buy round as well, in the sense of you get a lot of cash. Barbar there with the UMP as well, $600 a frag. If he can find 2 kills, he's already made his money back on the UMP. And obviously, if you get the bomb down, win the round, that's an extra 3,500. You want 4 players alive, 5 players alive for this T side.
It's true. That's what you want to try and give yourself something to play with. And obviously, coming into this round as well, positions being used by Method, they can trade for each other a little bit here. They do have a couple of crossfires set up, but it's still going to be an awkward round. Just play for distance, and Epsilon should pick this one up. Genko could actually be the power play, though. He's in a nice angle, but they sniff him out instantly. And Cosmine looking like he's starting to warm up a little bit now.
Yeah, we know of his potential there. With the 1 bullet accuracy he has. Incredible aim there onto Cosmine. It's one of the reasons why he stood out. I've heard he's, potentially the best player in Romania. Been picked up to join this international lineup as well. Smooya, arguably the best player in the UK at the time when he was playing on Endpoint. But he hasn't really had the same level of impact on Epsilon as he did on those UK lineups where he played so loosely, and played so confident, playing his own game.
That's the thing, as soon as they've actually typed in a leash to him,
exactly,
told him how to play more serious Counter-Strike, tried to slow it down, it's not working for him.
It could just be overthinking, right? If you're Smooya, when you played on those UK lineups, you played so freely, completely off of initiative, and maybe now that he has to play a bit more disciplined, he has that leash in him, as you mentioned, maybe it's caused him to overthink and think before he acts. I'm not quite too sure, but hopefully he figures things out ASAP. Molotov comes in towards connected to stop any mid presence from the CT side, but that's a failed top mid smoke. Weber could maybe take advantage of it.
Yeah, Weber just in position here with the Deagle. Absolutely filthy with a weapon at times. A lot of these players on Method are great in terms of their pistol skills. I mean, that transfers over to how dynamic they are as well when it comes to warping and just being very organic.
Yeah, Neilzinho, Stanley is so good at that CZ. Weber as well, the Deagle, so strong with that. What's weird is this is another eco. So this is telling me Weber wants the AWP. Be interested to see what he wants to try to do with it. Maybe AWPing towards B. They know that Epsilon are liking the contact plays. Could try to take advantage of that, but you're giving Epsilon 2 ecos, which means 2 rounds where they can build their bank up. These players could have 8,000, 7,000 in the bank half this round, and they're going to be able to buy for potentially the rest of the half.
They're starting to make it work as well. Stanley got into the back line, finds that kill. Neilzinho does damage as well, but luckily enough, Epsilon were able to get those 2 trades back into their favor. Cosmine only on 5 HP could be the difference maker, but if they carry on like this, still just getting these 1v1 fights, it's going to be easy for Epsilon. They will come out on top with a better arsenal, and it just all falls on Pulse here. CZ, he is proficient with a weapon, much like all of Method, as he strikes down upon Maeve. Has to find 2 more frags here. Going to be caught with his pants down, coming through the window, though, unfortunate for him.
A lot of pressure riding on this round. Method on the CT side of Eco. 2 rounds for this. Let's see. Strong utility. Potentially double up setup. We see Stanley likes to up towards B apps. Yeah, double up setup right there. So whether AWPing towards mid and Neilzinho, as I mentioned before, I reckon the AWP towards B apps could be detrimental to the T side of Epsilon. You get AWP there towards balcony, holds the line there above underpass, find a frag, fall back, but just hold the line. No top mid smoke, and actually just managed to catch Weber off guard. Smooya finds that kill, and another frag as well from Barbar. 2 men lost from the CT side already.
Oh no, Stanley gets in position, but he's a little bit late. He couldn't quite hunker down and set himself up to actually be effective, and they have to save. They've already lost this round.
I mentioned the preface, Weber's so good at making that jump towards short, and if you know that, if you're a team that knows that the opposition's AWPer likes to go for the mid jump towards short, don't smoke top mid, just flash, wide face, and spray him down. He has no cover, nothing protecting him versus the bullets of those AKs.
Because that's the thing, Weber is a very mechanically sound player. That's what he likes to do. Those more aggressive plays towards mid, we see that consistently. I mean, I don't think we've seen a game where he hasn't thrown it into the mix, at least as a standard sort of actual, strategy from Method.
It's a nice flick there from Neilzinho. Unfortunately for Method, no enemies really walking into his scope before the round was already over. 8-2 now, a 6-round deficit for Method to try and claw back from. 10-9, that's Pulse on the scoreline, and 12-4. Freddy B and Smooya leading the charge right now for Method. Sorry, for Epsilon on their T side, but Method, they're going to want 4 rounds here, 5 rounds at the end of this half. Even if it's a 10-5 scoreline, it's not really too uncommon that we see them. Usually, they are a lot weaker on that CT side, and let's have a think why. On the old lineup from FM, where they had Fry 1, it was Neilzinho, oh, sorry. Was it? Yeah, it was Stanley and Neilzinho towards B. And Fry 1 was playing A, Weber, towards window, and then obviously Pulse and Fry were on A. So bringing in Genko, obviously you swapped out Fry 1 and Genko. They play similar roles, that frag in power, that 25 kills a map sort of player. They brought in Genko, and he's actually taken B Short off of Stanley, and now Stanley's playing towards A. Maybe he's not used to, he's uncomfortable in that role, playing towards that A site, being that player that isn't the anchor, right? Pulse is the anchor of the A site. Stanley from B Short, he's moved towards connector. We've seen weakness from that connector side. Just in the previous round when they came towards mid, they found the frag towards Weber, they found an instant frag down to Stanley towards connector, and they swarmed that A site, and it forced Nilzinho and Genko to save after just, what, 30 seconds into the round.
Things as well, touching on that. I mean, Mirage is sort of one of these maps as well that is another sort of defined home point of one of the Method players in Stanley. He always used to perform incredibly well on this map. I mean, when we saw him actually come into fruition ages ago, I think it was that all-4 lineup where obviously they were playing easy skins at the time.
Yep.
That was where he really set himself as like a staple on Mirage.
That was years ago as well. Has about 5,700 hours in the game.
Yeah.
Used to spam play FLC all day, I remember that. Nowadays, I don't think he plays as many hours as he did once then. Ooh, that's a failed smoke there from number 6. Who's that? Barbar missing that smoke, and actually that might cause him just to not go. Barbar throwing the CT smoke as well. If there's an AWP, which there is, not having the CT smoke, that could have been detrimental. But luckily for them, though, Pulse here with the Deagle. Yes, he has good aim, but obviously trying to land a headshot with the Deagle versus the AWP is a very different affair.
You can see him panicking off the back of that as well. Completely throws a spanner into the works. They now have to reposition.
Talking about reposition, are they trying to reposition the CTs? Going for a double fake here. Throw an execute towards A, force a rotation, throw the double execute, and you can see the bomb might try to go B short. This might be a B split here.
Nilzinho is on the AWP though. He's towards short. If he stations in and hunkers down, he will be quite a critical factor to actually ward them off. Meanwhile, over at the barn at A is going to be Maeve, who dives his way over, trying to show off his acrobatic skills, but he gets the opening frags. Cosmin as well shuts down Stanley.
Smooth towards B as well. If Nilzinho has the AWP and actually gets caught off guard, it's the battle of the AWPs towards the B site. Can he find the B site? Can he find the frag to Nilzinho and eventually get the B site? No, he can't, because Smooth does fall, but Cosmin in the meantime will find the frag to Pulse. Genko the fast reply frag though.
Genko retaliating there is absolutely huge. This is still around. They have a chance in at this point. This retake's going to be hard though. Nilzinho can't risk it actually going through window like that. Would have been shut down immediately.
They have a smoke, a Molotov, which has just been used towards ramp, but Barbar suspects the play. They know that they're towards CT. They have a smoke for the bomb. It's planted for connector. They have to anticipate the play towards jungle and connector here.
Going to get the smoke down so Genko can try and jump on the bomb, covering with the AWP. 4 seconds remaining, will be taken down to all falls on towards Nilzinho. Peeks out, but time is of the essence. Has to just go for the stick now as they are rattling off shots, but it is not meant to be. They will unfortunately lose the round.
2-9. There was obviously the eco around the AWP of Nilzinho, so not really the worst round that they can lose. They did take 3 guns out of the hands of the T's, but the bomb was planted. That's an extra $800 plus the round-winning bonus. Once you get the bomb down, it's 3,500. So extra money in the bank right now for Epsilon. And so far, yeah. So look, 6,000 across the board. There's 3 more rounds to be played here. They can almost buy up into every single remaining round. So much pressure now on the CT side of Method. Stanley close to the smoke. Doesn't quite see the toe yet.
Things as well, this is where those Method players excel. We see this constantly with Stanley and Pulse. They're always very effective at getting this opening frag on the ball, playing up close by the ramp smoke. It's going to be Nilzinho and co, though, to actually start things off with a little bit of a bang. Only 3 players remaining on the side of Epsilon, and they have to try and slow it down a little bit.
Fast aggression from both sides, 1 minute 20, and already 3 players out of the server, only 7 left. And a 1-man lead here for Method on their CT side. They need this round, they need to make this 9-6, 10-5 if they want a chance into the second round. If they lose this second pistol, it could all be over. Stanley needs to hold the line here.
Stanley, 2 angles to watch though, so he has to back off and try and play more of a defensive style. And he gets overpowered because of this, but Pulse is in position, finds one, and the second as well. Pulse being the catalyst into the round, it all falls on towards Maeve. With 55 seconds left on the clock, he has to go and get the bomb. Miles to run. Unlikely he's going to do anything now.
Remember though, the round loss bonus will be reset here for Method. Maeve, every single frag he finds will put someone to a UMP, put someone to a 5-7 CZ potentially. Even though this is looking unwinnable in a 1 versus 3, you can see they have kits, they have Molotov smokes. Economical damage could be the factor here that really comes back to favor Epsilon into round number 13.
Maeve going to go and go for the window plate, as you said, just try and hunt them down, but Pulse, he's locked and loaded. No messing about as he finds a headshot back on towards Maeve here.
3 players alive, which means a potential 3 drops being possible. Obviously, only going to be needing to drop to 2 players. So full buy here from Method. They are at 3. Epsilon at 9, they can't afford the reset here to come in onto round 13. If they get reset here, Epsilon 10, Method are probably going to have to be forced to eco round 14, then on round 15 go for a buy, but at that point, it could be 11-4.
Trying to take that early mid control, just thundering their way through. Seems like it is going to be that play towards the B bomb site, but Pulse in position close by connector here.
That was a team flash as well that came from the A site. Pulse blind, Stefan's the frag onto Freddy Beats. Genko now to hold towards shot, but Cosmin finds Nilzinho once again.
Genko playing underneath window here, close back. It is an angle where he can be so effective from, but you can see the paranoia. He knows that Maeve has short control, so his hand is forced. He couldn't do anything onto the T's that have now breached their way into the bomb site. And it gets worse and worse by the second. It all falls just on towards Stanley. Even though he's popping heads off, it's still going to be such a hard retake for the man. Molotov and 2 flashes, but he won't get a chance to even use them. Smoothie peeks out and slaps him down.
Reset now for Method. They might have to eco this one, allow Epsilon to get to 11, and then go for the buy onto that 15th round, and yeah. 2,000 across the board, they got 1.4k in the bank. This round, they're going to have 1,900 into the next one. If you have about $2,000, you are going to have 3,900 into the next buy round, which is enough for an M4 and Kevlar, or a UMP and some light utility. Not really the best. But yeah, the fact they've gone for quasi-buy as well, why would you buy armor on 2 players? Why not just give this one up, play for 11-4, and have an extra Molotov flashbangs? You see Epsilon grouping together, doing the executes, hold them off with the utility.
Stanley here. Always can be annoying when it sees that as he peeks out and he goes for a double kill as well. This is huge for Stanley to kick this one off with an absolute bang. Keeping it going as well. The pistols coming out on top. They rip their way through everyone. They only take 1 casualty in the form of Genko. Swift round there.
5 players alive as well. It's unfortunate that this is the last round. It's the dream when you win an eco. You have 2,000 in the bank. You win the round. You get an extra 3,000. You have 5,000 there. But unfortunately for them, at this late into the first half, it's not about money, it's about rounds. And Epsilon are 6 in the lead. Forced, though, onto an AK, sorry, 3 AKs, a UMP on Cosmin, and a Tech 9 there onto Maeve, the supported player for the Epsilon side. Method, though, AWP onto Weber and Nilzinho. Let's take a look at where those are at. They're going to be going for the bench boost towards B-Apps. We see Astralis pull this one out recently at the last major, I believe. Device, they're boosted up with Dupree towards that B site. And the other AWP onto Weber. Yeah, Weber, that is towards window. Going to be rotating that probably towards CT. You can go onto a ticket booth, you can hold ramp, and actually, you've already got Pulse there towards connector. But anyway, the execute comes in. This is a problem. Look, Stanley is alone on the A site. If the execute come in, he is isolated and alone. This is poor play here from Method.
This is very awkward. Stanley, it relies quite heavily on him as well to just try it and stay in a good angle. Will peek out, actually gets the opening frag back on towards Barber. But look, they're forcing the CTs to play around this, block off all their lines of sight. But the CTs are bending. They're not actually breaking. They've adapted fairly efficiently. And the Ts have to try and rotate off. They've gone for the around the world, getting themselves back out of connector. But the quick rotate comes in towards B. This puts an absolute spanner in the works. They have to slow it down now.
2 versus 4. Nilzinho with the AWP is low towards Kitchen. Freddy B here with the AK. His teammate Maeve just on a Tech 9 Molotov. They have a smoke and a flashbang. If they find the B site, they can smoke off Kitchen. Flash a teammate up short. Try and get that Tech 9 in towards CPL. There's a chance to win this, but there's so many factors that come into it. And Weber finds himself the second for the round with the AWP.
That's the thing. He had to come through. Freddy B had to get into the backline, find that opening kill. Then there was a chance Maeve got on site if they peek together and overpower Genko. Now, though, they could just play as a team. Method find the easy frag. They lock it down. It is going to be a 5-10 half. But still, more to be desired from Method there on their CT half.
Potentially. I mean, it's not really that uncommon that you do see a 5-10 scoreline on Method CT side. It is notoriously weak. It's their T side where they really do come to show, right? They need this pistol. I mean, what was it? Cobblestone, I believe it was a similar affair. Method were 10-5 up. They won that pistol. It was like 12-5. And eventually they managed to win that one in the end. So this second pistol could be very, very prevalent here.
Here's one of the things as well that we look at, sort of that we touched on before with Method. No matter how well you perform on your first half, you need to keep it going, because if you break or slow down even slightly, Nilzinho and Co are going to adapt to that and try and bring it back into their favor instantly.
Exactly that. I mean, Method on Cobblestone, they won both pistols, right? Epsilon winning the first pistol on their T side. Yeah. If they win both pistols here, and then obviously they secure the map, this goes 1-1, well, for the Analyst, you could be saying, well, whichever team wins both pistols ends up taking the map, you know, fair level of play. Which does mean a lot of pressure rides on this pistol round now. 10-5. Method win this. Win versus the Force, win versus the Eco gets to the 8-10 scoreline. If they lose it, though, Epsilon, they could be a 12-5 advantage, a 13-5 advantage. It simply isn't good enough.
No, it needs to be more. They need to bring their A game. Let's see how it is going to go. Method going to jump straight into it here, Snods.
Weber there towards short, but already 3 CTs here towards B. Is that a decoy, actually? No, yeah. I've misread it. There's no one on the B site. Instead, they're all packed towards short.
Smooya, he's playing from short, though. He's going to try and do some damage. Peeks out, finds one frag, but he gets traded back into. Pulse goes for the double kill as well. Pulse doing a great job of staggering the retake that's coming out. Weber finds the kill towards Freddy B. Barbo with 6 shot will trade it back instantly, though, as it is going to be a 2 versus 2 retake. Double smoke and a kit to play with.
Jenko gets tagged up there through bench, but only for 9 damage. Low HP on both these CT players as Maeve does full Barbo on the 1 versus 2.
Let's see if they can take it down. They just need to play together. Snods, flashbang goes out. Nilzinho baits him in. They know where he is. Peek at the same time. Easy as you like, and they will shut it down.
Crucial pistol there, 1 for the T's. You can see Weber smiling, Jenko as well. Morale is high because if they lost that, that could have spelled the end for themselves. Finally, though, Jack, we have a game on our hands. Pistol's going 1-1. Now it's all down to who wins the buy rounds, who is efficient versus the ecos, who can build up their bank and allow themselves to continuously buy and apply pressure versus their opposition. 4-round deficit here for Method as well, as it is a 10-6 scoreline. Once again, we see Pulse buying the Galil. It seems to be a common theme here where there's UMPs, there's Mac-10s in the mix, but Pulse always buys that Galil. He is the structure to these anti-ecos.
We actually see a lot of that with Method, interestingly enough. I don't know if it's cool from sort of Nilzinho trying to incorporate that, but they do prefer to have that range advantage rather than the additional cash bonus.
That is true. Maeve here, tagged up to low HP. HE onto Barbar, but Barbar, obviously, I know he is towards that B site. No one really low on that Method side, and HE is only going to really do 50 damage maximum. So Jenko, if he took another bullet, maybe from that P250, could have been a chance.
They are getting themselves in position, but underpass control is being taken. You can see how slow Method are approaching this. Want Epsilon to burn through any utility, any edge they have into the round. They have the angle couple with Smooya as well. So they should find it, but Pulse actually lets it go, stops focusing towards it. No one looking at window. Smooya's able to peek because the smoke bloomed a little bit late. Now funneling through connector. It's an absolute choke point where they should be overwhelmed. Smooya close by for the response frags as well, but luckily enough, they begin to get the momentum back in that T-side favor. They lock it down now as they flood their way over to site. Freddy B, Deagle in hand. Can't quite connect the shots though, Snod. Struggling a little bit. Oh, but he lands a juicy one straight into the cranium of Nilzinho. Blows him out the server there. As it is going to be a 2 versus 2 retake, but nothing to aid them.
They have Kevlar, but they haven't able to pick up any of the T-side weaponry. Just a Deagle down to Freddy B. Cosmin as well, the P250 Kevlar. Orb shot whiff there. Was that not? No, it's actually the Galil. Yeah. Cosmin, though, catches Weber off guard in a 2 versus 1, but the bomb might be too far ticked here, Jack.
It's true. It's a good plant as well for Stanley. If he gets his first frag on towards Freddy B, he can stay alive so easily. Freddy's going to have to push into him. They need to jump on the bomb now, but Freddy lands the shot.
Has he got it? No.
He doesn't have the kit.
It's fine, though. They've got the weaponry, right? The money is going to be low. Method, 0 players staying alive. They're going to get 3.5k into the bank. Let's see what the money looks like. Yeah. Pulse was at 150. Now it's at 3,600, so that's going to be no AK into this round. 0 players alive. Their money is low. Epsilon could go for the counter force by here. They've salvaged 2 rifles. They can maybe force up some Thanasis, some UMPs, and try battle versus the Galil, potential Mac-10 buy.
That's the thing. 1 Galil on Cosmin. Just had the Scav and JK as well on Freddy B. Are they going to go around this, though?
Then again, though, why really take the risks? You're 3 rounds ahead. If you're to force this one and lose it, you could be seeing a 9-10, 10-10 scoreline. You might as well just let these guys have it. You have the 2 rifles. Try and find 2 or 3 kills. Don't allow Method's bank to build too far. But nevertheless, though, round number 18. 7-10 in favor of Epsilon. Weber here towards B. On Cobblestone, he's usually that B plat player. And on Mirage, tends to do the same towards this B side.
Cosmin here. Going to be a bit of a nuisance. An interesting angle to play from to actually try and hold them back so they get the information early. He struggles. Normally you see consistently that under window angle because it's so easy, but luckily enough his teammate in Freddy B will be able to pick him off. He was more of a distraction in this scenario. Leaves him in a 3 versus 3 early. They have tried to recover a weapon as well. I think it did drop off porch, so Barbar should be able to get an AK.
He should indeed. Bomb is in the open right now. The 2 rifles are still alive. Freddy B has Kevlar's right. He needs to find the kill, and he wins it. Just Weber and Nilzinho now versus the 3 of Epsilon.
That's critical. Taking down Stanley there from short. They're now both coming in from the same choke point, and they have to funnel in together, Snods. This could be scary. 2 flashbangs on the smoke. The smoke will get bloomed as well, but this is it. They need to commit, essentially.
2 versus 3. Freddy B, the only one with Kevlar as well on the CT side. Smooth flashbang. They can play passive, don't face towards the T's. The bomb is down. Once they're exposed, Smooth can flash the site and they can peek together. to try and take Method while they're white. While they're blind.
Realize they have to try and go for it now, as well as the flashbang does come in. Will blind them temporarily. Weber actually gets into the back line. They do spot it in the end, but it's a little bit late. Freddie B is able to adjust and take him down. Nilzinho with one frag, hungry for more. 19 seconds left on the clock. Essentially has to get the kills. Where? Somehow Nilzinho pulls that out, takes down Barber. A ridiculous frag he never should have got away with. Wasn't aware of Smooya's location, though. Plays from Forest and lands the Deagle shot.
Such a big factor, the fact that Method had 0 alive when they won the round due to the bomb timer versus the eco of Epsilon. The fact they win the second round with the 2 rifles, the money just isn't there, Jack. They are broke, skint, and they're going to be forced to use all of what they have left into this buy. 5 Tech-9s across the board. No UMPs, light utility as well. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flashbangs. That's all they have. They could go for a fast swarm towards the B site. Go for the, as we call it in the UK, the sliggy, where you go towards B, you do the contact play, you group together. Once you're close towards the smoke or you're close towards balcony, you flash out and you swarm the site and try and catch these CTs off guard while they're blind.
Sliggy, slightly different to the JKM, of course.
Of course.
Let's see how this play will actually boil down, though. They make their approach over, just going to go off back of contacts. They charge in, they overwhelm Maeve, which is good, but Cosmin playing under window. It's an effective angle, and he's able to get the frags as you'd expect, but they do punish him. Nilzinho coming in with the Tech-9. If they get the bomb plant here, at least they're getting that additional cash to give them something to fight for.
Additional cash here isn't enough, Jack. They need rounds. They've forced into this one. If they lose it, 12-7 could be the scoreline, but Nilzinho doesn't want that. He finds the kill onto Freddie B. We're in a 2 versus 2.
Headshot's critical, but Stanley isn't aware of Barbar's location, so it's an easy frag as he shuts him down. Nilzinho is covered from the rear, so he has to just watch towards L block and window. Be aware that Smooya is close by and try and take him down. They are just playing around a little bit now, but they peek out. Smooya able to rip through him with the AK. Close, but no cigar.
Nilzinho knows it's a big round to lose. 12-7. Method used everything they had into that buy. Tech-9s weren't enough. I like the play.
Yeah.
Problem was, though, no smoke towards top mid meant that you had Freddie B on that fast rotation from middle, came there towards kitchen, found that frag to make it a 2 versus 3 from a 3, or was it 4 versus 3 at one point? Freddie B finds some kills with the AK as they cross the site, and that was enough to make it 12-7. So, we're going to be forced into this one once again, Jack. Round 20, 3 Tech-9s this time, and 2, I was about to say 2 AKs. Unfortunately, it isn't quite that. A Galil, no utility again for Nilzinho. Stanley actually passing the AK over. If the CTs were close enough, they could have heard that. Some clumsy play here. Maybe the pressure's getting to them. They know how important this round is. If they lose it, 13 for Epsilon, then surely they have to eco, but they're going to be 14-7 down.
Utility-wise as well, they've only got 2 smokes to play with. Smooya is up on the elevated angle as well. He's perched up by Ticket Booth. This is going to be awkward.
It is indeed. We should be blind here. If Method have bought into this round and are so careless and even flash as they execute towards the site, I'd be very unimpressed. Nevertheless, though, here it comes.
Get themselves ready. They are going to go in dry. They don't use their utility. They charge straight out. Luckily enough, Smooya does miss the opener, but he gets the secondary frag. Barbar in position as well. Does what he needs to. Does his role perfectly, even though Stanley will punish him. Weber late on the rotate through as well, trying to get through connected to aid his teammates. Doesn't work out. They only have 1 man going down on the CT side.
It's not good enough. 7-13 now. Method winning the piss on their CT side, on their T side, sorry. They only got 2 rounds from it though, Jack. They got reset on that 3rd round. So 5 buy rounds won. But look at this careless play. I mean, no smokes. They have flashbangs. 3 players had flashbangs.
None of them.
Yeah, none of them were used at all. It was easy pickings there for the rifles and the AWP of the Epsilon side to clean up all of those Ts on that A site.
I get going for that contact play, but the thing is, they knew Smooya had the AWP out. You don't use the smokes. You know he's been consistently over there. It just seems messy. Deagle play coming out though.
So Cosmin towards B short finds himself 3 frags versus the eco. Not going to be hyping this one up too much, as that is expected. As I said though, 7-14 if they're to lose it. And here we are in the present. 22 frags here for Freddie B. Frags spread across the board for Epsilon.
Yeah.
Problem is though for Method right now, what do you call it for Nilzinho? You've gone for the contact play, it hasn't really worked. Haven't really seen too much mid control. I mean, usually when we cast Method, they take control of mid slowly. Nilzinho is usually with the AWP there. He holds towards window, he holds towards the short push. They get the star riflers, Genko, your pulses, your Stanleys, in towards connector, in towards short. And they try and find entries with Angels. They're playing so scared and passive, grouping together towards the sites. And it's easy pickings here for Epsilon.
It just looks a bit muddled up, a bit messy for Method here. It's not the normal, slower, sort of sexy Counter-Strike we're used to be honest.
Exactly. So, cracks beginning to show. Epsilon taking advantage of every single moment of it. Genko dies from top mid, just faces before the smoke has bloomed towards short. Is that miscommunication? As someone just said, I'm smoke short, I've smoked short, but he hasn't taken into account the fact that the smoke has time to land.
Maybe peeking before it bloomed, as you said. It could be the only real reason that has actually occurred. Pulse does fire back. Barbar is going to fall, as they are left in a 4 versus 4. This is going to favor the T's a little bit here. You can see the map control coming through, but look at this in the backline, actually. Freddie B.
Smiljo as well. Another frag for himself. He does take down Stanley. I mentioned that they need to get in towards connector and find entries towards the sites, but you can see how far up push Stanley was. There was no trade frag there onto Smiljo, and Maeve now towards underpass. Doesn't get the frag, and this could potentially open up the B side for Method, but look how slow they are to react.
Timid. The things as well, Freddie B, he's been waiting so long. He now makes his play, but unfortunately it's just a tag on towards Pulse. They get that additional information. They can try and work out how they want to play this. They go for the window control as well. Now converging over back on towards the A bomb site. Molotov comes out. It's relying quite heavily on Freddie B here to actually try and hold them back. A little bit of utility comes out. He peeks through. Nilzinho seemed confused of his location. Pulse going to push on as well. Clears on the dock with a pre-fire, but Freddie B somehow does the unthinkable. Weber gets one, gets two. Hungry for the third as well. Flashbang goes out, but it's going to be Smiljo. 10 seconds. It needs to be now or never. Can still get the plant down, but he has to commit right now.
Bomb being planted. Smiljo in the 1 versus 1. Does he know that Weber's low HP? He does. He pulls out the sidearm and lands the headshot through the box. Weber makes the right play. He's going for the headshot angle. He knows his low HP. He only wants to show his head.
Yeah.
But Smiljo too precise there with the trigger. 15-7 match point here for Epsilon.
Epsilon looking kind of sloppy in some of these rounds, looking like the small cracks are starting to show, but it just seems that there's not enough of a buffer. Method can't quite get themselves back into their prime form, and it's just not working out when it comes down to those crunch situations.
Yeah, really isn't good enough right now from the T side of Method. No display of skill, no display of cohesion as well. You saw how far Stanley was in front of Nilzinho and his teammates towards connector. No trade frag there, found onto Smiljo towards CT. And Smiljo was able just to pick players off one by one. And already, the same something again to this potential final round as Freddie B finds the frag onto Pulse. 5 versus 4, 1 minute 35 on the clock, Jack, as we are in round 23.
Smiljo, he's going to kick it off with a bit of a bang, takes down Weber. We also see the Pulse has fallen as well. Already only 3 players on the side of Method. It's looking a little bit messy. This could be the penultimate round where Epsilon shut it down. Nilzinho potentially could have got that frag and started to be the resurgence, but him losing out that duel really kind of sets the stage for how this one is going to go. Stanley will connect the headshot, but he's so low off the back of being tagged early from connector. Even if he finds the frag on towards Maeve, it seems unmanageable. But Genko's done a little bit of damage before he will fall back down.
Bomb dropped towards short. Freddie B and Barbar now. Barbar picking up the AWP. Even if Stanley didn't get killed there, obviously having the AWP on the A side, able to lock down that short position, wasn't really too much he could do there after Genko lost the bomb towards B short. 1-1. Fairly one-sided affair, both maps. Epsilon taking Mirage very comfortably, and the same goes for Method on Cobblestone.
This is now the second 1-1 we've seen for Epsilon. The first, of course, up against Reason Gaming last week. So it's interesting to see. Potentially, they are looking shaky. It's looking like they haven't really been able to buff all the issues out.
I'm just really disappointed in the T side shown from Method.
Oh, yeah.
They had 5 rounds on the CT side. They won the pistol. They lost versus that, well, not full eco. Obviously, they had 2 picked up rifles, but you lost all of your T side players. All 5 players died. On that second round, I believe, after the pistol, that meant they had no money after they lost the eco, and they were broke. And from that as well, I mean, the T side from Method, they had no presence towards mid. What I'm used to seeing is they go from mid, late mid, they smoke off all these choke points, right? Smoke off window, smoke off towards the top of connector. They get into those positions where you can find kills. I mean, did we really see, apart from one round where Stanley got picked off by Smiljo, apart from that, we didn't really see anyone going for this 1 versus 1 duels to trying to open up sites across the board.
Yeah, it's true. Some sloppy stuff going on. And there's a sloppy man over at the desk with his analyst. Why don't we throw it back over to Tom?
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Snod. So there you have it. Epsilon take map 2, which was Mirage. We will have all the thoughts from Thorin and SEO when we come back. Plus, we'll be hearing from some of the key players. See you in a moment.